In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit acminc.com today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Superglue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb gyros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram. Yeah, that would have been a good bow shot.
It would have been a perfect bow shot.
Oh man,
It's like when you get that bias from the others, and you're like, oh, we need to get this moose.
Andy, I got ice in the cup for that if you want to.
We're all gonna starve if we don't get the moose.
It's pretty strong. Yeah. Okay.
What's up, Jackie?
It's been a while, man.
I know. How you doing?
Dude, I am so fucking tired. I am so fucking sore. Yeah.
Oh, sore? I saw your little video of your little ski video.
Oh yeah, the Trent Taylor filmed. What do you call it? Warren
Warren
Miller film. It's like, so he waited until like our 20th run through that steep POW to like actually film me, and it was like every turn I was like, I don't know if I can turn right. Like my legs were so fucking sore, dude. Oh, I was laughing the whole way down. It was a good day, man. It was so after all the days I've had on the mountain this year, most of them in with the kids. I had one kind of powder day, but nothing like just epic. And I showed up that day, dropped the kids off to ski camp, and it didn't seem like it was going to be like an epic day. Like it was really heavy on the bowl side, like 10 inches of snow maybe. And that would be awesome, you know? But then we went and snuck around Ragdoll and went and traversed some cliffs over towards like Christmas and Knuckles. And it was just freshy and super deep and super soft. And
so snuck around, like you're not supposed to go over there?
No, you can. You're like traversing on cliff.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. So you're side hilling on some gnarly shit. Yeah, there's some cracks. Some little small slides. There's a couple of them that I was like, oh shit. More and more snow's building up on my knee, and I'm like, oh, okay, stop. But yeah, it was good. And I skied with skiers better. Trent's better than me, and then the other guy we were with, Carter's a really pretty skier.
Is Trent a good skier?
Yeah, he's a great skier.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But Carter is like freshy on skates. Like he is just like beautiful skier. Yeah. So it was like when he went down, I tried to copy him.
Not happening.
Not even close, dude.
Well, I laughed so hard when he sent me that video.
Oh man.
He's like talking shit.
Yeah.
He's like, look at Jack. He looks tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they did it again the next day?
Yeah, then we did it the next day. Now, the next day was Annie was with us the next day.
We didn't get a video that day.
We brought Annie. Well, we were pretty sore. Too. Yeah, it's funny like when you get that tired that you're like, I don't know if I can turn.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Now, was that the second round of the ski camp? Is that because you did a ski camp with the kids in December, and then I saw them all on the sled, which was a super cute photo you sent us.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, they were having fun, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so my kids are too young for like the weekly one.
Oh,
so they can't be in Mighty Mites or any of these like free ski things yet. So the only chance I had to get into the camps and not ski with just dad or like whoever, whatever friends, my buddy's kid to ski with is these two camps. So we did a 3-day over Christmas, and the whole goal was like get them good enough to do the camp. And then in the camp there's like 4 tiers. So since Christmas they're up to I think 24 days on the year. And so they're doing top of the mountain, I'm bringing them down Black Diamond stuff. They're not doing North Face, but they're doing some South
some
Edge.
Of the videos, it's pretty impressive seeing those little guys ski so fast.
They're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not like quite parallel skiers yet, but they're like transitioning between pizza and parallel skiing. They want the poles real bad. But now they're like, there's some courage happening and some bravery, right? Like riding on the chairlift by themselves. It's a huge deal.
Really?
Yeah. And they don't want to put the pole down, the little
safety bar down.
Yeah, the safety bar down. So that's super cool. And then like being a leader.
For you,
oh, dude.
Oh man!
So there's this like famous lifty up there that has like one of our boxes here, one of these ions. He carries it everywhere,
just jamming all over the place.
And he does like the magic carpet that's right under chair 3. And so today the kids want to go on the lift themselves, so they're on the lift with no safety bar. And this dude's out there. He's like the best dancer I've ever seen. He is the reincarnation of Michael Jackson. And he gets on that magic carpet and he's like doing the moonwalk backwards and just getting after it.
On skis?
No, just in his ski boots.
Okay,
he's a snowboarder, so he's in his snowboard boots.
Okay, gotcha.
He's cool, And so I have this video of my kids on the lift in front of me, and I'm just like, my heart is like dropping out of my chest because Paxton's jumping up and down, dancing like he's dancing, but on the chairlift.
Yeah,
I'm like,
totally focused.
He's like 40 feet up in the air, and I'm like, dude, I need it. I think Andy told me,
Get in front of him, like 2 in front or something, so you're not looking at him.
Yeah, that's right. She was like, we need to get on before them. And I was like, absolutely, absolutely. And then you're like on chair 6, and there's some big falls up there. But anyway, so the cool thing about the camp is that they got escalated every day and made it to like the top division. So they were, skiing with older kids.
Actually improving and
And it was cool because it was like, I'm always telling them like, I have all this confidence in you and, here's some stuff we should work on. But they were actually like, hey, to move up, here's some fundamental stuff and you have to listen and show me. and then you can move up. And they did that. So as 5-year-olds, that was cool. You know, they're not even in kindergarten yet. So, you know,
That's awesome.
It was really fun. And it was nice to get like some, you know, dad days on the mountain. I hadn't had that really much this year. So, and for some
And we got a good video out of it.
Yeah.
I debated on posting. I was like, I'm not gonna do that to my boy.
The worst Warren Miller film ever.
Do that, man.
Yeah, you can post that. I don't care.
No, I wasn't gonna do
Just
it
out
like
there
that.
having fun.
That's right.
It was steep as shit there.
It looked like it.
Yeah, it was
like
fun.
And B, you looked tan. Hawaii was nice.
Yeah, Maui was nice, dude.
Maui's always nice.
We were talking before the show tonight, and it was like, and Tana, I'm sure, can attest to this, like the mental cleanse that like a vacation can do. And it's been a while because of COVID and stuff. You know, I didn't like. I'm not going to get into that too much, but my point was that I kind of took a hiatus from like, hey, I'm just going to like take a break from traveling for a little bit. I'm not going to get involved in all the hoopla that goes into travel and all that stuff. So finally, this trip came along, was in the making over a year ago for one of my best buddies' 40th birthday celebration, and a bunch of us families went down there, and it was just so great to just disconnect from reality and the world. And I know what it's like and what it feels like. It's just been a while, and it was everything I needed for my mental, physical. Actually, I think I gained like 7 pounds. So physically, I got a little work to do. And so I'm back at the gym 4 a.m. every day the last couple of days. So I'm getting a hold of that thing. But no, it was great, bro. Weather was good. All of us family stayed at the same condo complex. So we all had like open door policy. So the kids are running back and forth. And, you know, we didn't have like a strict regimen or schedule. So we were just willy-nilly, just doing whatever, and we just all had such a good time. Just memories made, especially having small children. And one thing I want to share is really cool, a takeaway from it, was I used to go to the same town, same area, same beach with my folks back in the 90s. And back then, I knew it was amazing, and I loved it, and I appreciated it. But, you know, you appreciate stuff more when you grow up. Yeah. Right. Like what your parents did or didn't do. But you know, it was so cool because like the area is so timeless. You know, it's like, it hasn't changed that much in 2022 to 1996. You know, I'm like, wow. And then I remember all of us went to the beach one day. It was like the one beach we all got there kind of at the same time. It was a really beautiful, calm seas, and we all went out and swam at the same time. And it was like the most surreal, beautiful moment for me to be out there in the water. And, you know, we had our kids and their floaties, and then the moms and dads and uncles and grandmas, and just like everybody's out there. And I was like, damn, man, it's exactly the same feeling 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
or
when you were the
so
kid.
cool,
yeah, man, it was just like, it was exactly the same, dude.
Yeah.
So it was like, gives me goosebumps actually talking about it, because it was such a great feeling. And that's kind of what I took from it, was just little things, little memories, and it was such a success. Yeah, man,
That's nice.
It's great. And I got some peeling going on underneath all
You
this.
look tan, man.
Who's more tan?
Like
Who's more tan here?
Yeah. Well,
You
you're
don't tan on?
It's just like a little
is that
different
really
shade.
fair? Is it really fair? I mean, he's kind of,
It's a little different shade.
he's got the Latin influence going on. But
Yeah.
no, when you guys saw, when we were recording with Joe last week, man, I was like,
Full lobster.
yeah, I was in my lobster stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I realized, I'm like, fuck, dude, 50 SPF doesn't do it anymore. I got to go full hundo the first couple of days,
You
man.
go to like the tanning beds here before you go.
Well, no, I used to. Like
Yeah.
my folks, you know, we do that, and I was just like, Psh, I don't do that
dude,
shit,
that-
dude. I'm
yeah.
fucking, yeah, man. I'm
just gonna go
As my
lobster.
kids would say, you got bear skin, Dad. You know, because I never get cold, and I'm always hot.
Or is that all the fur on the outside?
Yeah, there's a little bit more of that going on back there. According to my kids, they're putting suntan lotion on my back. They weren't too excited about that. But
It's like, you got a brush.
they're like, Dad,
Seeing
this is
some
gross. I'm like, I'll get a wax next time. Just put it on. We had a great time, man. Thanks for asking. It was fun. It was fantastic.
How about
And,
you, man?
Yeah, you just got back from a trip.
Yeah, I went to Arizona, little spot in Tucson. I go there with zero plan other than like hang out by the pool and try to catch lizards with my kids and avoid snakes. And that's all I did. Like I would sit by the pool all day. They go to the hot tub, go to the pool, go back to the hot tub, go catch lizards, fly the drone, go back. And that was it. And that was all I did.
Super
I walked down to the
relaxing.
little taco place
Yeah.
once, went to the store for more beer, and that was it. My wife and her sister came in from San Diego, and they went to hike around the Saguaro National Forest. And I've done that plenty of times. So I let her go with her sister and go hike about and do all that stuff. And I just chill with the kids.
Nice.
Like, they don't want to go. They don't want to go hiking. They want to jump in the pool and try backflips and, like, me throwing the football and diving and all that stuff that, young boys want to do. And so that's all we did. And I laid out, and now I'm peeling. Which is nice. Real bad on my back.
I don't feel bad for you. I haven't seen sun in a while.
So it was great. It was just like you said, Brandon. It was just a refresher, man. We're always so busy with all the stuff going on and businesses and careers and kids and all that. It's just fun to get out there and just relax and have zero plans and turn the phone off and just, like, focus on relaxing. It was really nice. So welcome to Alaska Wall Project episode 55. Today we have Tana Grenda here all the way from King Salmon.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Tana is a coach. She is a mentor. Her Instagram channel is at TanaSue_fit and also at Bristol Bay Fitness. Did I get it right?
Yep.
Is Sue your middle name?
Yes.
Was it like two rivers, like the Tanana and the Sioux?
Actually, no. I grew up in Idaho, and my dad said he named me after a Montana cowgirl. And then when I moved to Alaska, I was like, I think I'm meant to be here because my name is everywhere. It's in all these different places. Yep. So,
well, let's start there. Let's start with the history. So you grew up in Idaho.
Yep.
And then when did you move to Alaska, and how was that?
Right when I turned 20, I moved to Alaska on my own, and that was the scariest move I've ever done. But I came to Anchorage because I was a pilot, and I wanted to immerse myself in the aviation community, and Alaska is a pretty good place to be if you like planes and flying. So
Definitely.
I moved to Anchorage. I went to UAA, and I did their air traffic control program and graduated there, and I was going to be an air traffic controller, and then for whatever reason, that didn't work out. I ended up meeting my husband down in Idaho because he was from Idaho, but he was flying out in Bristol Bay doing, like, fishing guiding, and then he would fly beavers on floats for different lodges. And I got an offer to do an ATC job, like, back east somewhere in a, huge city, and that's just not my style. So he's like, hey, you want to go out to Southwest Alaska and we'll live at a fishing lodge for a while? And I was like, yeah. So I turned down the job and left my degree and got student debt for no reason. Kind of the story of a lot of us these days, probably. And yeah, never turned back.
Nice. I just paid off my student loan like last month.
Oh, man.
Really? Congrats.
Nice
It's a good
work.
feeling.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
There's hope, Tana. There's hope. You can do it.
Oh, we
Well,
did. We already paid it off. It
Nice.
feels good.
Nice
that's
work.
good.
Nice work.
Well, the air traffic control, I mean, that's a good line of work.
It is.
I-
It's stressful.
Yeah, I
but-
got a couple buddies that, like, followed their father's footsteps in that,
Yeah.
and they've had a heck of a career for themselves, and they've made it back to Alaska, which I
Yeah.
guess is pretty hard to do.
It is.
To go down and train in LA or wherever, and then
Right.
come back, and then there'd be a spot for you.
Oh, yeah. It's like a
There's like-
5-year waiting list or more.
Yeah, somebody's got to, like, retire or get out of there.
Yeah. And King
So-
Salmon, where I live, there's actually a tower, but they wouldn't hire me. They needed somebody, but they wouldn't hire me because
Oh.
they wanted me to have 6 months of experience somewhere else. But I wasn't willing to, like, leave my husband for 6 months or, be gone after I was married. I'm like, screw that,
Yeah.
I'm going to just stay out here and be led to what I need to be doing. And it happened, so.
Fantastic. Yeah, so Adam was just doing a seasonal thing.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
doing seasonal. He's
Yeah.
flown all over. He actually started doing seasonal work up here as like a camp hand, because he grew up in North Idaho too, a camp hand, and then he moved on to being a fishing guide. And then once he did that, he said he stepped foot in a beaver, and he was like, "This is what I need to do." So he got his pilot's license in 22 days,
Wow.
and then
man.
went through all the commercial instrument, everything, and then started flying for different lodges. So he flew in Ketchikan, he flew over in the
Oh, wow.
Togiak, like he's flown all over, and then he kind of stuck in Bristol Bay for a while, and learned from one of the best, Ron Hayes, the criminal guy, if you've ever heard of him.
Ron
The guy that
Hayes.
used to poach a bunch of bears and
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I recognize his name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was one of those like old timer, like, bush pilots that crashed like 10 times but lived through it.
Yeah.
And would just do crazy stuff.
Had the 9 lives. Yeah.
Yeah. Or more.
So, but yeah,
he
good
taught
guy
Adam how
to
to
learn
fly.
from in terms of backcountry, flying.
Yep.
Yeah, probably seen every situation.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Exactly.
Legal and illegal.
Yep. Like pretty much all the hunting regulations, I think, that are related to hunting or flying was because of Ron Hayes.
Yeah.
Broke every rule.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah.
I just saw a message or someone posted something that they changed or they're about to change the fly and hunt deal. Have you heard about that?
My husband testified. They had the Alaska Board of Game meeting, I think it was last week. And my husband wrote a proposal for it. I don't know the outcome of that. I
Okay.
haven't heard, but there were testimonies on it and stuff
Yeah.
for
What
that
was the
rule, that Prop 207.
What were the details? What was going to change?
So basically now you have to fly and you can't fly and hunt on the same day.
Right.
But now they're trying to change it so that local residents can fly and hunt on the same day.
Oh, that I haven't heard that.
That's what I heard. And
Take away the same day airborne rule?
yeah, that's what I heard.
Really?
That's what someone posted. And I was like, what? That's crazy.
I would not.
Okay, so
believe
we're talking
that.
about something different.
Okay, I was thinking about the sheep and flying rule,
Which is
which is Prop 207, and I can't remember what year it was put in, but it's been in place for a while that you cannot fly in sheep season or scout for sheep during sheep season.
okay.
So you
Right.
kind of have to like be in your camp, basically ready to go before the 10th, and after the 10th, there are chances that you could get turned in by somebody if they see you flying or circling, which is hard. My husband testified on this that I do a lot of circles to land. I have to evaluate my landing strips. If I need to move to a place due to weather or whatever, I don't want to be turned in for doing circles to land because people think I'm scouting for sheep. So that was the
Okay, that's what
rule
it
that
is.
they were like
Okay.
talking about, and that was presented to the Board of Game last week, I think it was. But
Yeah, I pulled it up right
I did
here,
not hear that
Daniel.
one.
It was Prop 137 from August, excuse me, from August 10th through,
oh, it's
excuse me,
137.
from August 10th through September 20th, aircraft may not be used by or for any person to locate Dall sheep for hunting or direct hunters to Dall sheep during the open sheep hunting season. However, aircraft other than helicopters may be used by and for sheep hunters to place and remove hunters in camps, maintain existing camps, and salvage harvested sheep.
Which makes sense in theory, but how do you tell the difference?
right.
Yeah.
There'll be
There's no-
there'll be
not
an
one person-
overwhelming amount
yeah.
of like reporting, and then there's
Yeah.
going to be haters that
Well,
are
then how
just
do you
like
prove
trying
it?
to get
Like,
it.
how do you-
Exactly.
Yeah,
Not one
yeah.
person has been dinged on it because nobody knows. Like, there's that super gray area of what is scouting for sheep and what is landing, or what is doing a circle to land and a circle because you see a sheep. So it's such a random rule that honestly doesn't make much sense to me. But
Yeah.
they have it in place, I guess, to try to mitigate some of that stuff. But there was a guy that was on that Board of Game meeting. It was funny. He said, "The bigger the tire, the bigger the outlaw." So he was saying that any of these pilots, which us, with big, tundra tires, we're all outlaws out there,
Oh yeah. Big
Which I just
outlaws.
laugh. It's funny, but
So, as I was doing some research on you, Tana, I realized that you are part of the Stuck in the Rut.
Yeah.
Your family.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So in 2010, my brothers decided to start filming our hunts, and we've been hunting our whole life. I have 3 brothers, no sisters. So, of course, I was drug around the woods with them from the time I was little because I had no choice.
Are you the baby? Are you the baby too?
In the middle.
In the middle.
But
okay.
I was born in October, so my birthday was hunting season.
Yeah.
So I spent most of my birthday parties packing out elk. At the time, I didn't like it, but I do now. So in 2010, we had done so many hunts that my brother wanted a way to like watch them back and start sharing them and create a YouTube channel. And so that's what we did. We started, just buying some cameras and trying to self-film. And I mean, it's 12 years later, but we're still figuring it out. It's tough. I think we figured it out for the most part, but it's pretty tough to like film yourself and hunt and think of all the things, and especially with archery when you're trying to stock up on animals. So yeah, we just started filming hunts, putting it on YouTube. We've grown that pretty well. I feel like we haven't made Stuck in the Rut a business at all. Everybody thinks we make a bunch of money, but it's literally just a hobby. We just love to do it because it's cool to not only share our hunts, but look back on it and remember those times. But then now we have kids that we can show our hunts with, like, oh, look what happened. This was before you were born, you know, and you get to look back on those memories. It's really cool. So I'm really glad that we did that.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, don't undersell it. Stuck in the Rut is pretty big.
Yeah.
One of the bigger, I mean, as I started hunting, you know, you start looking at all the videos, and now it's one of the bigger channels out there. So that's really cool that you guys started. And just like anyone else that goes and films their hunt with their phone or whatever, then eventually like, oh, I'm going to get a better camera and I'm going to get a GoPro. But then along with that comes like the editing. Like that's a whole nother job, you know, afterwards, which is like, okay, you can be a good hunter and a good filmer, but editing is like a whole nother deal.
Who takes on that for Stuck in the Rut?
My brother Tom does. It started out with my brother Travis, but then he became really busy with his construction. So all of us have different jobs. And so Stuck in the Rut is kind of like our side gig hobby. And then Tom took it over, so now he does everything. So we send him all of our memory cards, and he's the editor because I certainly don't have the time to do it.
Takes a lot of time.
It's got to be.
And it doesn't matter. It does not matter what song. If you have any kind of song in there, you're going to get someone hating on that
every
song.
time.
No matter what it was. No matter if it's country or rock or hip-hop or what it is, there's always some like, I couldn't listen to it anymore because that song.
Right. We don't use a lot of songs. We will on like little teasers or drop videos or something. But yeah, most of our actual hunts, we don't put any music in it. And, you know, you get both. Some people are like, oh, make this production more like a production. And some are like, oh, we just like it raw and, you know,
you can't
real.
please everybody. You definitely can't.
So we just kind of do how we want, regardless of what people think.
Yeah, do what you want, and then haters are hate, and the people that like it will like it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then I did notice that you guys had some sort of app.
Yeah.
You guys started? What's up with that?
Yeah, so we just started a hunting app, and it's just Stuck in the Rut. So you can go on Google Play, or whether it's Android or you have an iPhone, you can download it, and you can create a free profile and post and stuff. It's basically like a social media platform, but we wanted to do something that was uncensored because with YouTube now, we cannot even post like skinning out an animal. You can't show blood. You can't show processing meat. No, you'll get flagged and it'll get taken down.
Aren't they going to stop the kill too? They want to start.
They're going to start doing that because they started like banning all of the fishing videos even.
What?
Really?
Yes. Like YouTube just like in the last 6 months has started to ban big hunting channels. They took, I forget his name, but Instagram name, ProGuide66. He's like a big hunter and trapper in Canada. And he had like 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he got shut down. They completely shut down his channel. And so we knew, okay, it's only a matter of time. We have 160,000 subscribers, I think last time I checked, or close to. And, we've been doing videos on there for 12 years, but it's only a matter of time till they're going to shut us down. And then you've got Instagram, and then you've got TikTok, and then like Facebook, and we just keep getting banned. Like I posted the bear picture of my husband's bear last fall on the hunt that and that got banned and taken down.
Yeah, that was kind of a messed up deal. I'm pretty new to social media, and not to butt in your subject too much, but I was really like taken back by that. I didn't realize that it was scrutinized so heavily.
It's been.
I know bears seem like really sensitive.
Predators.
Yeah, really sensitive subject. Because I was like, oh, that's so badass. And there was all these like, all of a sudden it got shut down and you posted a thing and then you had a bunch of comments after and great follow-up on your part, how you handled that. But I was like, oh man, this sucks. Like,
not even an ounce of blood or anything, just an animal.
I thought it was kind of a bummer just that it kind of opened my eyes being so kind of naive to social media. And I'll admit I am naive to social media. I mean, like, get involved with some stupid little shit and realize I'm like, dude, this is dumb. Like, you can't.
Yeah, it is.
You can't argue with the internet.
Oh, the second you respond to something, you're just like, opening yourself up, and there's never a win or a loss or anything for anybody. But yeah, it's bullshit, man. Like, I mean,
especially people spend years, like 12 years or whatever, 20 years building, a business on it. It's their whole livelihood.
Right.
and they have the passion for it. They help build the platform, but then it can just be shut off.
Yeah. And you're just trying to help people learn.
Yeah.
I mean,
it.
that's, for me, a big game hunter, the more information I can get, the better. I mean, I'd love to watch 500 bear skin.
Well, they're just
videos
cutting
and learn
out
the
an
different
entire
ways and like,
culture.
Yeah, they're just
Is what they're
banning
doing.
it. I've been
They're-
shadow banned for like 3 months, so I'm
Really?
just on Instagram.
But yet you can get on show a video of you murdering 50 million people, you know, in some game.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, with all the gore and all the stuff. But like actually someone that's going out, subsistence, getting an animal for their family and showing you how it's done, they're going to ban that. When obviously there's a huge interest of people that want to see that to learn.
And be self-reliant. And
Yeah. They don't want that.
no.
So that's part of why you guys started the...
Yeah, that was a big part of it. About a year ago, Tom, my brother, he kind of watches YouTube and he watches these other accounts and what's happening. And he's like, hey, we got to figure out a way somewhere else that we can put our videos that they're not going to get shut down.
Yeah.
And then in the fall, when I started getting posts actually taken down, then I'm like, that's enough. So we developed an app with help. And the whole goal of that is just to have an uncensored hunting community that everybody can come together. They can post whatever the heck they want because I oversee it. And I'm not going to sit there and ban people because they posted a picture of blood, you know, because that's a part of it. So that's one piece of it. Another piece is we can put all of our videos on there. And then the last piece is we're doing a lot of hunting courses. So my husband's creating a moose hunting course for DIY. Not dropping waypoints or anything, don't worry. But just teaching people how to like do it logistically and safely. Because a lot of people get up here, you know, and they don't know what they're doing. They get themselves in trouble.
Yeah.
So like how to pack, what gear to take, how to do the moose hunt. So we're going to do like bear course. We just got a spring bear course on there. Moose course, we'll do one for like new hunters. So we just want to help educate people, but also like bring people in an area that like in case everything shuts down, it's our fallback plan, you know?
Yeah.
But also a place because a lot of people are getting sick of social media, especially Instagram, and they're just deleting it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, go over here. This is where, this is kind of like your safe place. And yeah, it's just kind of like a community, but it takes time to kind of transition people over from, Instagram and the YouTube and stuff. But you know, when they shut us down, we can't post there anymore.
Yeah,
so.
is there other competition? Is there other companies that are trying to create these social media platforms? Because I haven't heard much of it until I saw your guys's. I was like, well, that's really cool. And you guys aren't just doing it for yourselves. You're allowing other people to post and
it's
put
like
their stuff.
I would say it's a mixture between Instagram and Facebook. So it's got a feed similar to Instagram, so you can, post and have a profile. But there's groups. So we have all sorts of different groups. It's like Alaska hunters, moose hunters, bear hunters, archery hunters, and you can be a part of all these different groups, and then you can post within that group. And if you post within a group, it also goes to your profile. And you can do private groups. So I've set up like a women's hunters group that they can come in and like ask questions and stuff. Wolf hunters, like all the different things. And then so yeah, it's pretty cool the way you can kind of set it up. It's kind of a mixture, but yeah, people can post, they can do live videos, they can comment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just pulled it up here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really
still
well
pretty
done.
new because we just launched it last month, I think. So I'm working because I'm the one that kind of like set it up and got it all going. So I'm working to like make it better. It's a big learning curve, like especially when you're not just super tech savvy, naturally, but I'm like, I can learn how to do anything. So I'm going to learn how to run this thing.
That's funny because I get an email like every day. Oh, you want to create an app? I'm always like, this is like a scam.
And I don't know about competition. I mean, I
haven't heard
don't know.
of anybody.
Maybe.
That's good.
I think there's different sites. I can't remember. There's one site that you can actually create your own, but it's just on a website. And I don't know what it's called.
So did you find like an app developer? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Honeycomb.
Okay. And they continue to
community.
provide support.
They first created it for Lady Gaga. And Lady Gaga had her own like community platform. And so yeah, like anybody can do it. But if you compete, I will hunt you down. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it seems like a lot of things are going that way with like NFTs and blockchain and all this stuff that's like technical jargon where people are creating their own little communities, and you can buy into your own communities and make your
or
own
like a
coins.
Patreon or something.
Yeah, something like that, but a little bit more like the next step to that, where they're going to be cutting into YouTube and Instagram and all these places that are like decide. I don't know who's making these decisions to like
Right.
just cut this part of the country off or these people off because of this or that, and even like you said, people that are learning to like skin an animal or clean an animal.
can't show it.
You can't show it. It's crazy.
You can't show it. And full transparency, coming from Idaho, you usually kill something and then you take it to the butcher shop and they handle it. Coming to Bush, Alaska, you got to figure it out.
You don't got that.
Yeah, you have to do it all on your own.
Yeah.
And so I would have killed to have something like that where somebody was showing me like how to process meat and do it all yourself and do it in a way that the meat stayed longer than, 3 months and got freezer burned or whatever. So it was a learning curve and we kind of figured it out on our own, but that's what I want to do is like show people how to do it, because if anything, right now if the world goes to crap, people need to learn how to provide for their families and themselves, and there's a lot of, power that goes into knowing how to do that, whether you're male or female or whatever. Everybody needs to know how to do it.
And it's not like you're forcing people to watch it. Like you have to
No,
click
they
on
don't
this
have to
stuff.
watch it.
You do.
You know what I
And
mean?
so YouTube, if you see our videos, we have to put a warning label before every video start.
Yeah, I saw that.
Otherwise,
I'm stuck
it'll
in the
get
rut.
flagged.
Yeah.
And, when you get so many views, you might get compensation for that on YouTube. Our videos don't, because anti-hunters come in and flag it and say this is inappropriate or whatever. So anything that gets flagged, you automatically get zero compensation. So you could have 4 million views and make 0 cents. It's pretty
demonetize
crappy.
it.
So we started putting a warning label because we were getting so many, anti-hunter comments and being reported so much.
Yeah, you guys are
Once
a
we put the
target.
warning label, we noticed that went down a little bit, but people still look for it
Yeah.
because they have nothing better to do, I guess.
So they're just trolling you.
Oh, they're just trolls, yeah.
Do you find they're mostly from Europe?
Probably. I don't know. Wherever they are, they don't have a lot to do.
Oh, they don't
Because
have
they
any
go
more hunting
around
to do.
And they sit at a keyword and they just like, I hate you. You should die. Save the animal, but I hope somebody kills you. It's like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Kill
Oh
a
my
human,
gosh.
save an animal. Okay.
Well, and you guys are right about the bear thing. Like we've posted a couple of bear things on our page, and it gets the most hate.
Oh, jeez.
And it's
Even
just
over
like-
wolves. I thought wolves would be the biggest, but we've posted wolves before, but bears for some reason almost seem worse than wolves lately.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and then people are stunned that you eat the black bear. Like, oh yeah, we eat this. Like, and they're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you post a picture of, salt in the hide with your 2-year-old toddler and turning the meat
Yep.
into breakfast sausage, and it's like, you son of a bitch. It's like, I'm doing what they did.
Doing the same thing they do
years
to
ago.
cows and
Like,
pigs and chickens and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
just
like-
don't follow it.
I'm like, yeah. So I realized real quick that it's just, you're opening yourself up for it when you like put it out there.
Yeah. You are.
And I thought
can't let
you'd
it
get
bother
more
you.
love and like,
Yeah.
hey man, I'm like-minded and love what you're doing, and like, here's some tips. Here's what I do, and I'm like, cool. But it's like, no, it was like hate. It's like, geez.
I'm out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not part of that.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. You embraced it and responded in a very positive, like in professional like manner.
Oh, that's
like-
good to hear.
Yeah.
I was pretty pissed off. So.
Well, I didn't know even like where to start at that level of someone, coming at me like that. And you were just like, phew, spirited it the next day. I was like, oh, damn, this guy like fucking around, man.
Yeah,
She
don't
gets
mess
it.
with me. Well, the thing that made
It's
me
impressive.
the most angry about that is it wasn't just like, here, look at this bear. There was a story behind it, and it was that I was fully transparent that it was probably one of the hardest hunts that I've ever been on with my husband. We fought the entire time. We loved to hunt together, and it was a horrible experience. We hated each other the entire trip. There was a lot of fights going on, and I just straight up I came out and wrote that story about that. Not many people will do that or admit that.
Oh, they only want to tell you
They
all the
just
good stuff.
fight with their husband the entire hunt,
Yeah.
And so I came out and I said that thinking like, okay, I hope this helps people that, struggle hunting with their spouse or their significant other or whatever. And then they took it down. I was like, I will show you. Don't mess
Yeah,
with me.
because that's
poured
like
my heart
something.
into this.
Yeah,
I poured my whole soul.
something people can
Scream, take it
relate
down.
to. I mean, how often do you go out with your spouse, significant other, and it's just like, oh, everything's so perfect. We never disagreed about anything.
It
We had
looks
the
like that
time
on
of our
Instagram every
life.
day.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted to freaking kill you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, my wife and I are in our condo every day, like, in Hawaii, like, it ain't all peaches and cream, man.
Put the
No.
pictures at the sunset.
Yeah, well, here we are on the beach. It's all perfect.
Like we're smiling in this photo.
What does shadow ban mean
I don't
versus
know that
banned?
much. It's kind of the same thing, but you're basically in a position where they're kind of taking you out of the algorithm, and so your views drop significantly, and then your posts aren't being seen, your stories aren't being seen, other than like maybe your top so many fans that are like looking for what you're posting every
The
day.
subscribers still can see it, but maybe no one else.
Yeah, like you just get taken out of the algorithm. Like you'll see your views drop by like 70%,
Yeah.
and usually when
You
that
can
happens,
control
you know.
that, huh?
We need like
And
a
it
lobbyist
happens
for YouTube.
even if you like on Instagram, even if you go, if I were just, looking through social media, or I went to a political type page and I liked one of their photos, they will start shadow banning you based on who you're looking at.
Oh, wow.
So don't, like, if you want to keep your account, you have to like not even look at certain things or like certain things, or I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how they control it. They know who you're watching. They know who you commented on. If it's anything that's, with certain political stuff, they'll just cut you off.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Let's take a quick second here and do a shout out to some of the sponsors, and we'll come back.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan-proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier Gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights, or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
Arbor Digital, based in Anchorage, Alaska, is your go-to wealth management company. Arbor Digital is at the forefront of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. If you've been looking to invest your hard-earned money or just want to learn more about crypto, blockchain technology, or digital investments, give their website, acminc.com, a visit. What's great about Arbor is they provide a low-cost, transparent, research-based investment strategy for digital assets and traditional investments as well. acminc.com is your first step in putting your money to work. Let one of Arbor's investment professionals walk you through your options for financial growth and security. Start investing for the future today at acminc.com. Arbor Digital, your Alaskan digital asset company.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com.
I want to get into Bristol Bay Fitness.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say let's shift to something a little more positive and not so gloom and
Don't
doom.
take us off YouTube. Don't take us.
But if you do, it's fine. Just go stuck in their app.
We'll go stuck in
That's
their
right. That's right. Yeah. What's up with Bristol
Actually, you
Bay?
probably should just start posting there. Just start
Yeah, just
building
do it. I mean,
start
that's what
building
we're
it there.
doing.
Yeah. So then, if you get shut down, at least it's like a clean trans. You don't start all the way over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We already are. So all of our 2021 videos from last year going up on the app right now.
Nice.
So, and then we're going to do like a slow, drip on YouTube. And so if people want to see our videos, they kind of have to go to the app to do it.
Yeah. We might just have to get sneaky with the names, like Knitting with Tana.
Yeah.
Fake the algorithm out.
He's skinning a bear skull.
And, there are things, too, that we don't always want to show on social media. Really, like, a lot of the really cool stuff that we do, we don't even show. And so the app is a cool place, too, because it's, like, literally just hunters. We would post in a trapping group these trapping things that we're doing that we wouldn't just show all over the internet. Like, I never post wolves and stuff because you just get destroyed and slaughtered, and everybody hates you. And then they go post on their page, like, hey, go, like, find this person and write them, and you just get hate message after hate message. So that's another cool thing about the app. Still trying to keep it positive, that we can, like, post whatever we want there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm good
not
at
worry
knitting.
about trying to censor it or hurt people's feelings,
Bristol Bay Fitness is a business that you have out there.
Yeah.
Explain what that's about.
Yeah, so I started this online business about 3 years ago because I became an instant mom to 5 kids at once through foster care. And it was like, okay, what am I going to do from home? I love to work. I can't just sit around. And so once I, kind of stayed at home, I'm like, what can I do to work from home and still be a mom? Because I wanted to raise my kids. And I was already a personal trainer. I had already been kind of in the fitness and nutrition world for like 10 years. I've done competitions and all of that. I'd already done some coaching and training on the side. And I talked to one of my friends, and she's like, you can do that online now, right? And I'm like, oh, you can? Really? And she said, yeah. So she kind of hooked me up with a couple of systems that I could start out with. And I literally built it from nothing, like 0 clients. And then the first year I was working with nearly 100 clients and then just built it from there. And last year I ended up hiring 4 to 5 employees. And so our whole goal is to really teach people how to be healthy in a sustainable way. So, we're kind of like getting past the diet culture, getting past like, oh, let's just try this quick fix. Like, you work with me for a minimum of 6 months. Because that's what creates lasting change. Yeah. And I don't want you to go do a diet, and I don't want you to cut things out, and I don't want you to just like lose 30 pounds in 30 days. I want to like actually change your life and help you have habits that you can use your entire life. And then, with my passion of hunting, I wanted to combine that as well. So one of our main programs is called Unstoppable, and that is teaching and like coaching people to prepare for their hunts. So we train like sheep hunters and, whatever hunts they're going on, goat, moose, whatever it is. We'll start about now, February, March time frame, train them for 6 months, get them ready for their hunts, teach them all about the nutrition, how to pack their nutrition for their hunts, how to, basically get them to their optimal performance so that they're not crashing on their hunt.
And this is all online video, like Zoom style?
All online virtual coaching. We have an app. We program all your workouts in there. We give you nutrition goals. You can eat what you want, but we teach you about it. So it's not like, here's a meal plan, like eat this. It's like, all right, show me what you ate for the day. How can we make this a little bit better? And so we're just slowly making changes over time so that you become the healthiest, best version of yourself. And it's not just workouts and nutrition. I've brought in I have a therapist, and then I have like a PT, and I've got these different people that we can work on injuries and pain, and we work on a lot on mental health and mindset, because that's so important. As you can be in the best shape, but if your mind is weak, you're going to quit. So we work on mindset and just all aspects of your health. We work with a lot of women on their hormones, hormone issues, gut health, mental health. It's all connected.
Yeah. Do you find that most of your clients are from Alaska?
No, all over the world.
Really? Where's the furthest or the weird, craziest?
Australia, New Zealand,
Yeah.
It's pretty
Sweden.
far away.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was pretty cool. Like the first year, when I built this, it was a lot of family, friends, people that I knew, locals. And then as I started kind of growing my following online, which is so crazy about online, it blows my mind that you can reach people all over the dang world and you can work with them and get to know them. And so, we have great relationships with these people that we've never even met, that live all over the world, that we coach, every single week. It's pretty cool.
You're impacting their lives too.
Yeah. You get to change lives through the internet. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It is. Are some of them actually planning to come for a hunt in Alaska?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Nice.
I've trained a lot of men and women, so we work with both for different hunts.
Brandon could use some training.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hit me up.
Yeah, drinking Kona longboard, starting at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning,
That might not fly.
It's not on the
Some
regimen.
athletic greens.
Actually,
in
you
there,
could
you're
choose
good.
it. I would just teach you what would happen.
Oh, I wouldn't have sent you my Hawaii diet. No, we didn't need to talk about that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you got to live your life. So it has to
Yeah.
fit your lifestyle. It has to fit your schedule. If you're crazy busy, most of us are, you have to know, like, how to manage and, navigate around vacations and when you're sick and when the kids are sick and, when you're going through a stressful time. I mean, that's life. And personally, I believe that not a lot of diets and stuff do that. They don't show you how to navigate those times. And when you're done, it's like, hey, well, now what? So we kind of coach people through that, all those hard times, stressful times. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Do you find it difficult to find healthy foods in the bush?
Oh, yeah.
Expensive, I'm
It's
sure.
a challenge.
Yeah, produce and stuff has got to be hard to come by, right?
I ship it out from Anchorage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you could have one food out there, what would it be? One fresh food?
Strawberries. Like unlimited strawberries.
Hell yeah. Because kids love strawberries. I mean,
Yeah.
Everyone loves strawberries.
yeah. I mean, my kids eat them by the buckets.
Lettuce is easy to grow, so I can grow that. But if I could just have
You got a
all
garden
the
going?
fruit. I will this summer. We don't get great growing seasons, but I'll have a big greenhouse this summer. So yeah, we harvest all of our meat. We don't hardly buy any meat, so we have 4 full freezers of moose and caribou and salmon because we live near some of the best, salmon fisheries. And then garden in the summer, which is pretty short window, and then I do Instacart here in Anchorage. And so I'll do Costco produce every week, and they drop it off at Ace Air Cargo. They put it on a cargo airplane. I pay like 70 cents a pound to ship it, and I do that every single week just to have fresh produce because it's important. Like, it's an investment, but it's my health, and I would rather do that than be flying into doctor's appointments and being sick.
And
my
you have a
whole
large
life.
family.
Yeah,
You got a lot of
there's
mouths
8
to
of us.
feed. Yeah.
And my kids
you
eat
go.
a lot.
You need to
I
get a
bet they do.
hydroponic farm out there.
What?
You need to get a hydroponic farm out there.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be
Good
amazing.
idea.
One of these days.
Good idea. I want to talk about your kids a little
Okay.
bit. Were they all from King Salmon
No.
when you fostered them?
No.
Are they all siblings or?
So I have 6. 5 are siblings. So they were a sibling group, and they grew up in a village called Togiak, and so yeah, that's where they're from. It's like even more west than where we're at. And then so we got them first, and we went through a couple of years of hell with the foster care system. If everybody's done it, they know how stressful it is. And then we ended up adopting them last year. And then it was in the middle of like the busiest fishing stuff that we had going on. I think it was the COVID year, 2020. And I got a call for a baby that had just turned 1 and needed a home. And I had 2 days to prep.
Oh, man.
And so I was like, yeah, sure. And my husband was gone flying, and I just said yes.
So this isn't just like bringing home a kitten. This is
Literally, that's what I do. he shows up. He's like, oh, we got another kid? I'm like, yeah.
this one's tiny.
But we love him too. He's awesome. But he's still in the foster care system.
Oh.
So we've got 5 adopted, 1 foster care, ages like 2 to 13. They're awesome kids.
What's
You
her
got your
names?
hands full.
What are their names? We've got Julia. She's the oldest. Katrina, second oldest. I have 4 girls, 2 boys. Julia, Katrina, Mindy, Chris, Audrey, and Norman. So
Norman.
Nailed it.
Norm.
That's an old
Baby
school
Norm.
name.
Old Norm.
So old school.
So
Like
love
my
that.
great-great-grandpa's name was Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't hear that one very
meant to
often
be.
at all.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. I was just talking to
good
my
choice.
kids about old school names.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Cute kid.
Like Pam, Wanda,
Wanda.
or I'm trying to think about another old like
Susan.
male name like Norm. Like I don't know. People just don't name their kids Bob anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Not even Mike.
Yeah.
You don't even see like Michaels or
it's
anything
not
like
even a
that.
thing. Yeah.
It's me old school. Yeah.
What do you guys do out there to keep all them kids busy? Other than just school, and you guys are very outdoorsy, and you get out and play in the woods and all that. Do you guys get a chance to fly them out and get in the woods with them, or?
Yeah. Our Cub is a 2-seater, so unfortunately we don't have an airplane yet that will fit all of us. Someday we will.
That's kind of tough.
But we will take turns. So we like to beachcomb. That's a fun activity to do in the springtime and through the summer and fall. And so he'll take a couple kids at a time and, go down the beach. And then our oldest 2 girls are hunting right now.
Nice.
And so he'll take, one out and get him a caribou and bring him back. And then the next weekend will be the next girl's turn, and they'll go out and get a caribou. And then my son, he is 8, and so he got his first black bear last year. So yeah, it's tough because everybody wants to go, but you just kind of have to take turns.
When you guys want to go, it's like, how do you squeeze it all in, right?
Yep. And then now with us, we barely get to hunt together anymore because somebody always needs to be on with the kids, right? So, we just started taking turns. Like he would fly me out, or I would take a friend if, I don't have many friends that I hunt with, but you have to be pretty special to go hunting with me. But
well, did that lead to
family
your
members or
solo
whatever.
hunting?
Yeah.
For people that don't know, Tana has a world record. Is it a world record, caribou?
I don't know. I never got officially scored, but he's up there, close to.
Yeah, that
thing's a
thing's
monster, dude.
Yeah. Walk us through that, because I watched your
460 or
little.
whatever.
Did you put a video out for that, or just like pictures and stuff like that?
It's on our app.
Oh, it is on that. Okay,
okay,
all right.
okay.
Don't go to YouTube. Go to
Yeah, because I got stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's one caribou on there, but I don't think that's the one from last. That was just 2021, right?
Which one?
That big velveted,
Yeah.
ginormous thing you
Yeah,
killed?
that was that last fall.
Yeah, that's how actually I found you. A buddy of mine sent me like a screenshot from his phone. I want to say it was like the ADN. Like
a
the online
news article.
newspaper article, and he's like, check out what this girl got. And then like the next day, another buddy of mine sent me one because they know I'm into hunting and stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh wow, and that's I started researching who you were, and yeah, that thing was.
Hey, stalker.
Well, I mean,
I'm kidding.
I was like,
I
wow,
put it
she's
out
did
there,
a
so
soul hunt for a big caribou, and then I was like, oh wow, you killed all kinds of stuff, and you really are passionate about hunting, and clearly you guys found some really good quality hunting grounds as well.
Yeah.
So,
Was that your first solo hunt?
Up here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done some solo stuff in Idaho, but Alaska, you're going into the bush. Things can turn south real quick.
Holy shit.
So
I just pulled up your picture of the thing up there behind you.
Damn.
Look at that thing.
I think it's a monster. Looks like a moose paddle.
I almost got him with my bow, man. If I got him with my bow, he would be the new Pope and Young world record,
yeah.
hands down.
Was there another big boy with him?
No, he's all by himself.
What's with the almost? You had your bow out there?
I had him at 37 yards bedded,
Uh-huh.
and he was quartering to me in tall grass with his neck turned. So all I could see was his neck and the very top of his shoulder. And I had a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Well,
And so I was
it's not
just
good.
waiting it out. I was like, I don't know what to do. Throw a rock. Like, I don't want to spook him. But with the crosswind, when you get those big gusts, they can shift a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I waited him out for like 20 minutes. I'm just sitting here 37 yards. I'm like, he's going to bust. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't have a clear shot. I'm just going to wait till he stands up because he would bed and then feed and bed and feed. So I waited for a good 20 minutes or so. And then this big gust of wind came and right to him. And before I could even get my bow back, he was out to 100 yards. Like, I mean, I was just like instant, and he just jumped so fast, when they wind you like that. So he kind of circled around me, and the dumbest thing that I did here is I left my rifle about 500 yards behind me during the stalk, because I was so determined to get him with my bow. I've killed a huge caribou with my gun. This is my 4th caribou, and they're all over 400. I have 4 Boone and Crockett caribou, so like caribou's my thing, And so I'm like, I want to get with my bow this time. And when my husband dropped me off solo, he's like, you're never going to kill anything with a bow if you have a rifle in your hand. I'm like, I know. Okay, fine. So I get 500 yards, and he's all by himself. And that's the best to stock up on one because there's no other eyes.
Yeah.
So he was feeding, and I would just run in And then he'd look up and, you know, I'd hit the ground, do a billion burpees over and over to get close to him. But I left the gun because I'm like, I'm doing this with a bow. I'm so determined to do this. And I got 37 yards, and I was like, this is happening. I mean, it was a sealed deal, and you never do that. You never, like, count your eggs before they hatch. Yeah. But I'm like, oh, this thing stands up, he's done. And I didn't even realize how big he was. It wasn't even that. Like, oh, this is a new world record. I was like, he's a nice caribou. I'm going to get him with my bow.
Yeah.
And once he ran out, you know, I'm looking for my gun, like, all right, it's the gun's turn. I'm like, oh, crap, I left it way back there. And thankfully, he ran that direction. He ran right toward my gun and all my gear. And so I ran as fast as I could after him. And, you know, he kind of knew I was there at that point. So he was, you know, kind of looking back. And every time he looked back, I just hit the ground again so you couldn't see me. And I was just running. I mean, I was so winded. I was just like...
And the adrenaline and everything else.
Oh, yeah. It was insane.
Because now you saw him run, you were probably like, oh, shit, this is like a really nice caribou.
Yeah. Like, he looked pretty big.
You weren't going to let that go. Like,
no.
You need to get that caribou down.
I was going to get that caribou down, regardless of how it happened.
So
I ran back to my gun, and he actually disappeared in the only brush and trees that existed on that hill. And I was like, oh, my gosh, he's gone. I messed that up. Somehow I messed up that stock. It was a perfect stock until it blew up in my face. And so I just kind of stood there with the gun a little bit, and he just circles and comes right back around. It's just like this perfect godsend. Like, I needed to kill this animal, and he just comes out 450 yards and just starts trotting a circle around me. But he was running, and it's flat swamp grass, and I shoot off a bipod. Now I'm probably going to get a tripod or some sort of setup for that flat ground, because I could not, like, every time I'd get prone, he's gone, you know? And so I'm trying to figure out what to set up on. I just can't set it up on my pack. It's too wobbly. So I found, like, this tough tundra, and, you know, put my bipod on it. It was, like, halfway freehand as he was running 450 yards, dumped him. Or he ran maybe, like, 30 yards and dropped. And so that was like, like, I did it, you know, he didn't get away. He almost got away. But yeah, I was super bummed that I just didn't get him with my bow, because I've just been wanting that for so long. So, and then once I walked up to him, then I realized how big he was, because I killed a caribou 2 years ago that scored 454. And I thought that was like the biggest caribou I was ever going to shoot.
And
this one was bigger.
Caribou, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is that the same caribou? But like you peeled but then it'd be bloody. So that didn't make sense. But that's the picture I saw that my buddy sent me the screenshot of. When you're peeking through the rocking chair hole between the bez and the
eye guard.
Yeah.
It's really tough to take a picture and film. And that was the other thing. I was trying to self-film the whole thing. And so,
which it went all to shit right after it ran. And
I mean,
all
it
that,
did. I still got some of it, but I mean, you're just trying to kill the animal at that point.
You know, and it's funny too to, like, you know, you see that photo and you're like, wow, what a magnificent animal, badass. This gal went out there and did this solo, like all the aspects of what made the story cool, but none of us know the chaos that ensued with your, like, stock, and then, oh shit, my rifle's 500 yards is a long ways away. You probably thought at that point, like, this is done. Like, I mean, this thing's gone.
Dude, I was running for felt like forever.
I bet.
Like, I'm never gonna get there.
Well, and it's flat, right? So did you know exactly where your gear was?
Yeah.
Okay. So you weren't,
I couldn't see it, but I had situational awareness of, like, I left it back there.
So it can be easy to, like, run 300 yards, like, at an angle over here. I'm like, oh shit, man, my gear's all the way over there. Now you, like, created another variable to try and jump through, and
and I did have a pistol with me, but like, I'm shooting this thing with a rifle.
So in your post there, you're talking about 4 months after a bear attack. I would not have seen myself being dropped off alone.
Yeah, so that was another part of the backstory.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
Did any of you guys, like, watch that story or read it or anything?
I guess I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a good story.
Fresh ears.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
So last May, my brother from Idaho came up to do a brown bear hunt on the peninsula. Because, you know, when you have an ex-kin relative up here, you don't need a guide. So my brothers are super lucky to have me. So
you're welcome, brother.
It was my youngest brother's turn. And so I would act as his guide, because that's how it works. So I had already been tagged out because, on the peninsula, it's 1 every 4. So you can only shoot, whether you're resident or non-resident, you can shoot a brown bear 1 every 4 years. And I got one with my bow in 2019, so I'm tagged out to like fall of next year.
Was that the kill in your waders, like across the creek? Okay, cool. That was badass.
That was a fun hunt.
That was cool.
But that hunt was like to kind of overcome my fear of bears, because I've been charged by grizzlies before in Idaho, and I've just kind of always had this fear of bears, and I struggle sleeping in tents and stuff. And so I did that archery hunt to kind of overcome my fear, and I did.
Get close.
Yeah. And I felt good. So the next year I took my daughter hunting, and she was 11, and she shot a brown bear off the beach, and it was just me and her.
Wow.
She's amazing, super brave. It like stood up at us at 12 yards. She shot it right in the chest. And then, so the following year, last year, my brother came up, and I'm like, all right, we've like overcome bears, fears here, like we're good. And we had a super late winter last year. I don't know about you guys here, but we did.
Yeah, you guys were able to do your bear hunt, you and Adam, like November or something, or how late
we
was
did that in October.
It just seemed like really late.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that like an old video from something else? Like I didn't. Yeah, you guys were able to get out.
Yeah, but this was in May. Like this was last May.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And
right.
so the snow
Okay, yeah.
stuck around forever because we got
up the other story. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a few bear hunts last year. I'll get to that too. But we got so much snow in like March and April that the bears were coming out really late. And so bear season opens, May 10th, and May 10th rolls around. We're out there, on the peninsula, and there's like no bear tracks, nothing. You're looking way up high in the snow, and there's like not even bear tracks up there. You're like, where? They must all be still hibernating. Yeah. But every day you see more and more, and they started coming out. But there was nothing on the beach, no movement anywhere except like up at the top of the mountains in all of the snow. So like day 3, day 4 of the hunt, we saw a huge bear up high, went after him. He's like 2 miles away, and got close and winded him. And we're like, shoot.
Is that the pistol bear?
Yeah.
Okay, I did see this.
Okay.
Okay, that's why you started talking about it way up, because I was like, holy shit, they're like looks like you're a couple thousand feet up.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, keep going. Yeah, it just dawned on me. I did see a little bit about this. Yeah, the pistol bear, yeah.
Yep. So we winded that bear because just the way that it worked, he was coming over this notch, and we were going to meet him on the other side. And my brother wanted to bow hunt because he's like, oh, you got one with a bow? I'll get one with a bow. So we had a bow, a rifle, and a pistol. Most guides that are like registered guides can back up their clients legally. Like if they shoot, they can shoot right after, right? I can't. And I asked the troopers this beforehand because I'm 1 in 4. Like I'm not a registered guide, but I'm acting as his guide, but I'm tagged out, so I can't shoot. So we had a bow, a rifle, and a pistol. We thought that was plenty. So we kind of waited for this bear to come up over this notch and wrapped around the other side, and then the wind switched and went over, and he smelled us, and he was gone. So we came back down the beach pretty depressed. Now we're like day 4, day 5, still haven't seen any other bears. They're just way, way, way up high. So we were kind of looking for a bear scenario of one sleeping, because if they're sleeping, you can kind of sneak up on them and get an archery opportunity potentially. So one day, it was like day 5 or 6 of the hunt, we look way up this canyon and we see this blob in the snow that we haven't seen. And we see these tracks kind of coming down this avalanche chute and then backing out of the avalanche chute. And we're like, that wasn't there like this morning. And so we get our glass out, and it's like 6 miles away, like as the crow flies, 6 miles. So it's mirage and it's really tough to see, but there's a definite blob. And there's definite tracks in the snow leading up to the blob. So we're like, that's a sleeping bear in the snow. So we watched him all night, and he didn't move. And so it was kind of funny because my brother's really avid, like, snow machiner, backcountry snowboarder. He knows snow conditions really, really well. And he was pretty hesitant. He's like, I don't know if we should go up there. I was like, we've got our snowshoes. That's about it. We didn't have like an Abbey pack or anything like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think to bring it on that.
No, or like a beacon or anything. Yeah. We didn't think we'd have to go that high to get a bear, but we've been known to be pretty crazy and like do whatever it takes to fill our tags. And so we're both in pretty good shape. So he's like, okay, let's look at this. We kind of looked at the map. We figured out a route that we could go to get up there. And we just both agreed. We're like, that's really, really far. like farther than anybody should ever go for a bear. But there's no other bears here, and we want to get this done. And I usually miss my kids a lot. I don't want to be gone for 2 weeks. I want to get it done and go home.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we both agreed that if the bear was there the next morning, we would go after him. We just kind of gave it time. So we slept all that night, got up the next morning, he was still sleeping. He'd been sleeping over 12 hours.
Wow.
And we knew it would take us all day to get up there, and we didn't know if he would still be sleeping, but we went for it. So we took all day. We left at 6 in the morning. We didn't get to the base of the mountain. We had kind of to wrap our way into this drainage and then go straight up 2,500 vert to get to him. And so we got to the base of the mountain by like 3 p.m. So it was a 9-hour hike just to get to the base, and then we had to climb 2,500 feet vertical. And we knew when we left, we're like, there's a pretty good chance we're not making it back tonight. So we took our survival tarp. We took an extra pair of dry socks. We took food for a couple of days. We didn't take our whole base camp, though, because it was too heavy. And we just needed to be, physically
bring the bear back too,
mobile. Yeah. But we took our bare minimum because we slept on the mountain before. So we just go 2,500 feet straight up, and it was so steep. Like, it's probably one of the most miserable digs I've ever done, through the worst brush, the worst alders. You know how that is. And we finally get up to kind of his elevation. It starts to get pretty windy. And I got a message from my husband, because he was keeping us updated on the inReach of the weather. He's like, big storm coming in for the next 24 hours. And we're like, sweet. So
as if we don't have enough to deal with here. We're trying to make this happen.
It is, yeah. But it would gust really hard, and then it would be calm. And once we were up there and you're in this big alpine snowy basin, you have no cover whatsoever.
Yeah.
So,
You're so exposed.
we're like, we've still got a sleeping bear. He was up there for over 24 hours. We think he had just come out of a den.
Yeah,
He's
just
super
like
sleepy.
fogged out. Yeah.
And so we're like, this is a great opportunity, but we're not going to sneak up on a sleeping bear in the wide open snow with a bow. That just seems like a dumb idea. So let's not do that. So we got as close as we could, because there was kind of this dip where we couldn't like go up, and because then we'd be right on top of him. So we wanted to shoot across it. And we do a lot of long range shooting as well. So we're pretty comfortable under 700, but especially under 500. And he was at 470, which is pretty dang close. We shoot a 338 Ultra Mag. So we get in a pretty good position where we can shoot the thing, and we've kind of routed how we can get to him. But I mean, we're post holing. It's like spring snow, and we had verts, like those climbing snowshoes, which were nice, but it's still pretty deep.
Yeah, late in the day like that, it's going to be the sun had beat on the snow. It softened it all up, slush.
Post holing, and then when you get close to the rocks, it radiates that heat, and so there's holes and like little crevices you fall in. So we were just trying to be really careful about that. So we get up there, he gets all set up, and it's like 5 o'clock at night now. We know that we need to get off this mountain, because we had to kind of go around some cliffs to get up there. We didn't want to be up there in the dark, because hypothermia risks, and like there were other bears up there, and we were above cliffs. It was just dumb to be up there in the first place.
Yeah, not where you want to spend the night.
No. So we were waiting there, and he wouldn't wake up. We were yelling at him. We were trying to get him to stand up to like have a better shot, but he wasn't going to do it. And we're like, we came all the way up here. He's still laying down. Like, there's nothing we can do at this point other than just shoot him, like where he's at bedded. And we had a clear shot. But you just don't, I don't know. Sometimes I really don't want to shoot an animal bedded. I just want a better shot. But we're not waiting here all night. Because if we get stuck up here in the dark with that bear, we're screwed.
Come this far. Yeah.
And a storm's coming.
Yeah, and a storm's coming. Let's just get this done. So he gets set up. We feel fully confident. We have 25 rounds, and he just starts shooting. Boom, boom, boom. 3 shots. All lungs, vitals. The bear stands up, and he just looks really sick. He just can't even move, and I'm just waiting for him to go down. Get another one in him. He goes to get another one. The bolt jams.
Oh, wow.
In the rifle. And he's like, it's jammed. And so, what do you mean it's jammed? He's like, it won't close. The bolt won't close. So we're taking the bolt out. It's freezing conditions. It's 0-degree wind chill. It's starting to rain and freeze. And so I'm like, is it frozen? We're looking in it. And big wide open basin, we're downhill from the bear. He sees us, and that it was all over from there. So he saw us and he started kind of like coming down the hill slowly, but he was very hurt. He was spewing out blood both sides. We had good hits. And we're just thinking like, he's going to go down. He's going to go down. And he just like takes a belly slide and just starts sliding down toward us. And I'm ranging him and I'm like, 350, 320, Trevor, let's go. Like, you got to get it unjammed. 300, 280, he's getting closer, you know, and you're looking at this huge brown bear coming at you, wounded, pissed off.
Yeah.
And your rifle is jammed. That's like your lifeline. And all we have is a bow and a pistol. And so he is just sitting there shaking, and we're just starting to freak out.
Getting frantic
because he's
now.
under 300 yards now, and he's coming,
Yeah.
and he's not stopping.
It's
and I'm
getting
like,
bigger and bigger.
yeah. And then he kind of goes, because we had this little canyon we shot across. So he dips down at 200 yards. You can't see him.
Oh, shit.
And he's going to come up at 5 yards to our face when we see him next.
Oh, it's that steep.
It's that steep.
Gotcha. Wow.
So we both looked at each other. He's like, I can't get it unjammed. We got to run. So we left all our crap, all of our gear. We grabbed the rifle. He had a pistol and a holster and a Kydex holster and the bow. And we just took off running downhill. And our main goal was just to get distance because we thought he was going to go down. Right? Like, he's bleeding out both sides. He's going to go down eventually. So let's get some distance from him so he dies before he gets to us. So we run downhill, and as we're running for our lives in, like, knee-deep powder, Trevor, like, stops, and he looks back at me, and he's like, my pistol's gone.
Oh, no.
And we look over in the snow, and thankfully, like, we found the handle sticking out of the snow because it flew out of the holster while we were running.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, I would not be here today.
Yeah.
So we're just in full panic mode, full fight or flight. He grabs the pistol, puts it back. We're looking behind us, but we kind of dip down over this hill, so we can't see it. We can't see our gear where we just came from. We'd have no idea where the bear is at, and we're just running downhill through the snow as fast as we possibly can. And the only cover we could find was just a pile of, like, some rocks that we could hide behind, like 4-foot rocks, 4x4 maybe. And we just kind of hid behind those rocks for a second. And I just remember he hands me the pistol. He's like, here you go. I'm like, I'm not doing this, dude. I can't shoot. Like, you have to be the one to do this. But how helpless did I feel that I didn't have a weapon? Like, regardless of what the troopers told me and stuff, like, that was my life.
Yeah,
on
you
the line.
still, like, can protect yourself.
Yeah.
I mean.
And so I should have had a pistol of some kind or something with me. Because when your rifle jams, which that hasn't ever happened to us, and you have a pistol, that's all you have. So we were kind of waiting behind the rock. I was like, Trevor, you have to do this. He's like, he's not coming. He's dead by now. I'm like, I don't think he is. You're going to have to finish him off. And just as he said that, we looked up the hill, 150 yards away, right at our gear. He practically stepped on our gear, came over the hill, and saw us. Like, he pinpointed our heads behind the rocks. And then he went full bore. It was like a hit of drugs hit him. And he just came like adrenaline, full bore, downhill
Mouth
through the
open,
snow, mouth open, and like snow's flying up around him, and he's a 10.5-foot boar.
Yeah.
And it's, he's just like jiggling. I'm just looking at this thing like, holy crap, I'm going to die. And I'm hiding behind the rock, helpless as always. And we have five shots to save us, and that's it, or we die. And of course, you want to wait till they get close. Otherwise,
yeah, you want to make it count.
Yeah, you have to make it count. Otherwise, you're done. So I'm hiding behind the rock, and I'm the filmer on this, and I had my phone down. Like, I just, in that moment, you don't think to film. You're just writing off your life at that point.
Well,
and
you got a lot going on.
And he's coming full bore, and he closed 150 yards in about 10 seconds. I mean, just fast, as if he had never been hit. And so my brother waited till he was about 30 yards, and he shoots, and he like ricochets the bullet off the rock. He like barely missed because his head came behind the rock first.
Okay.
So it was like weaving around the rocks to us. So it ricochets off. He's got 4 left.
What kind of pistol is it?
454 Casull.
Yeah.
And so he comes around the rock. He shoots him like 25 yards. Bam. 20 yards. Bam. 18 yards. Bam. Like, he gets down to like 10 yards. He has one more lunge till he comes over the rock, and he's at my face. And he does like one shot, and it was enough to just stop him and turn him. Because he was like 3 shots, and he was still coming right at my face. And that
Like
last,
blew his shoulder out or something, just to like
shoulder,
get him.
chest, like everything.
Yeah.
And he takes this turn, and he stops, and then he's like turned at 10 yards, like looking at me, and that's when I pulled my phone out to film that last shot.
Okay, and I've seen that.
Yeah.
Like, that was on
It was on Instagram, yeah.
Instagram there for a while. It's not anymore, right?
I think it is.
Not that part.
I don't think they took it down.
Okay. Because I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
And that's why I got to thinking the pistol bear. I was like, oh, because that looked
Yeah.
really close.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I mean, that was 10 yards. That was after he already turned.
Yeah.
Like I said, he had one more lunge till he was on top of me. And that last shot was just hurt him enough to turn him. And he turned. You could see, like, the blood spewing out. And then he does one more shot. And then the bear kind of goes behind this rock. And I just heard a shh. So I thought he slid down the snow. But we couldn't see him because it was a really steep drop there. Mm-hmm. And so my brother's like, I'm out of rounds. We got to keep running.
Right there, Daniel, right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you can watch that. It's pretty sketch. That was the fourth and last shot. After he turned, I'm right behind that rock.
Yeah, that's close.
And he tracked us the whole way. So we didn't know he's dead
insane.
at that point. We ran uphill, and at that point, I was kind of just toast. Like, my legs wouldn't move, trying to run uphill now in waist deep snow. After that, and like, I thought I had said goodbye to my kids and my husband. My life flashed, I had the whole thing. And my brother had 5 more rounds, so we needed to, like, get distance from the bear to reload because we only had 5 more left. So he was reloading while we were running uphill. We found another little outcropping of rocks that we hid behind for a while, and we never saw him come uphill. But when an animal's wounded, it's hard to come uphill. If you can get uphill of them, it's better. Because when we were downhill, it was very bad. So now that he was, like, downhill from us, we felt a little more safe. But I mean, I was, like, in the rocks, in the fetal position, just shaking, just praying for my life pretty much.
Yeah.
And we didn't know he was dead for another probably half hour. We just kind of kept side-hilling slowly to see if we could see him. And we eventually got back to our gear, like you can see in that video, and he, like, walked right by our gear. And we were just in shock. We were both in full-blown shock. And we finally looked down the hill, and we saw a blob, like, laying down at the bottom of a little avalanche slide. And we're just like, oh,
he's all wadded
I think
up.
that's him. Like, is that him? Is he dead? Is he wounded?
Is he dead is the question,
Yeah, so we, like, pulled out our binos. He was super still. And at that moment, like, we realized we survived. So, pretty crazy. And I actually, in the heat of the moment, I had messaged my husband on the inReach and said our rifle's jammed. Like, what do we do? Or, like, pray for us or something like that. Oh. So he knew that we had been charged, and they didn't hear from me for an hour.
Oh. So he was really, really concerned.
He was really worried. And then when we got back to our gear and we found he was dead, I messaged him. I said, we almost died, but the bear's dead. We got him. And I looked back later because it all felt like it happened so fast, I looked back later, there was an hour time lapse. From the time that we shot the bear to the time we knew he's dead was an entire
that felt
hour.
Like 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, but like an entire hour of running for your life like that was, I mean, it drained me for weeks.
Well,
weeks.
I bet, emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever figure out what happened to the gun?
Yeah, the loads were too hot for the conditions because we reload, but it hasn't ever happened to us. We've shot these rounds in cold, freezing conditions before, but a spent primer had blown out the back and, like, fell down in the perfect angle in the action screw to where it wouldn't close.
Unbelievable.
And in the heat of the moment, like, you don't see that crap.
No, of course
You're
not.
just like,
you don't have time. You're scrambling.
You're just freaking out,
Yeah.
close, you stupid thing.
Yeah.
So we found it after we got back to camp, like, and we had to survive for another 24 hours after that out there.
Yeah, because you weren't going back. I mean, by this time, what is this, like 7 o'clock at night or something like that?
It was like 6, 7 at night,
Yeah.
and it was going to be dark at 11:30, and we had to get this thing skinned out, and we had to get off the mountain, like below the cliffs to somewhere safe.
Did you get it skinned out that night?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, right then, we had 40 to 50 mile an hour winds hit, pouring rain, like soaking wet, cold, hypothermic, like all the worst, And I kind of went in shock during the experience. Like, after that thing slid down, I heard the slide. I'm like, I heard it slide. He's like, no, you didn't. It's still alive. And I was like, I can't see him, but I think he slid down. And I kind of went into shock in that mode because I couldn't run anymore. And as soon as we got down to the bear, my brother went into shock. He couldn't hold a knife. He couldn't skin the thing.
It all set in.
It, like, hit him at that point because he was the one that saved us. And he's like, I gotta have a minute. So he went over and sat in the snow, and I skinned a good bunch of it before he could help me.
He could get his mind wrapped around what just happened.
Yeah, like he couldn't even function. Well, I was like, Trevor, we got to give them out. He's like, I know, but I just can't.
And I actually was thinking about that as you were telling the story. And you're clearly very selective in who you go out in the field with.
You have to be.
And you do. You do, because you need to know that your partner's got your back. Mm-hmm. You need to know when shit hits the fan and it goes into survival mode, you're with somebody that's going to be in the right state of mind to make sure that you both get home to your families. I'm assuming because you hunt so much with Adam, your husband, that there's that trust, there's that, so my question was your brother probably the next best thing to Adam that, given that situation and what you're in? Yeah. Would it be Trevor, right?
Yeah.
Trevor or Adam? I mean, you're
all my brothers I would trust, like they're all
you had to be very grateful that you have that dude with you in this situation. Like, to cover both your guys' asses and make sure that.
Oh yeah, he performed really well. I mean, even that first shot, he missed. And how many times do you miss when a bear is that close and you keep your cool?
Well, I don't think that many people deal with that situation.
Right. Like, he kept his cool so well, and I had videoed part of him after that, and his face, I mean, he was just so focused.
Stone cold.
Yeah. And he knew, I knew after I missed that first one that I had to make the next one count.
You don't got a lot of more bullets to waste here.
And so he just focused and hit every one after that. And he did a great job, and obviously saved my life. I pretty much owe him for a lifetime. But we still had to skin it out, and then we had to pack it off the mountain in the dark, and then we had to stay up there and camp under that tarp through the storm on our riverbed in the,
Were you still above snow level?
Once we dropped down, no.
No. Were you able to build
that
fires? What did that night look like?
I would love to have built a fire. Everything was so soaked, it was impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the, monsoon type hurricanes that you get, those big storms that blow through. And we had one little seek outside tarp that we set up with trekking poles and paracord. And I didn't use the stakes because they weren't strong enough. I was tying the paracord around big rocks.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the night, as I was not sleeping,
there was no sleeping.
There was no sleeping. I looked over and those rocks were lifting off the riverbed. Huge big rocks that I had as our stakes. They were lifting,
the tarp was flying the rocks up.
Oh. Yeah, it was that windy, and it was the rain was blowing in sideways. But what saved our butts is we always have a set of puffies in a dry bag with an extra set of gloves and extra set of socks.
Yeah.
And that
put that warm, dry socks on.
We were soaked after that whole thing, and skinning it out and packing it out in the pouring rain just to get down out of the snow level because I was pretty hypothermic. And then once we got to the riverbed, we couldn't build a fire because we didn't have anything dry, but we were able to put our dry stuff on. Oh, pitch dark, yeah.
Pitch black, yeah.
Yeah. We were coming off the cliffs in the dark, but we had our Onyx track set, so we were able to follow those out. Otherwise, that would have been bad too. So that's always a good note. Make sure you put your tracks on.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that saved us. And then once we were on the riverbed and in dry clothes, I felt like I had survived, but still not. I mean, you're still
you're
6
not
miles
out of the
back.
Weeds yet. Yeah.
You still have to pack the whole thing out and deal with what other encounters are going to happen. Because there's a lot of bears roaming around coming out of hibernation. So we had to survive the night, and we didn't end up getting back to camp until 6 p.m. the next night. So we were gone for 2 full days pretty much. We were exhausted.
I bet.
Yeah.
How heavy was that pack?
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
So I carried all the gear and stuff and the skull. I think mine was close to 100 pounds because I have a Barney's pack. And it was, when it rains, it just soaks it all up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I had the gear, all the skull, everything was soaking wet. I'm pretty sure it's 100 because I do a lot of 100 to 120 pound packs with moose. And it was,
know what it feels like.
It was at least 100. And then my brother's, a 10 foot, he measured 10.6. So a 10'6" wet bear hide. 120 to 140 depending on how much water is in it and how much fat you leave on it.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was heavy.
It would have been hard to flesh it while you were skinning it. I mean,
I put so many holes in that thing. I mean, he wanted to, have this bear to mount it and
of course.
But both of us at that point, I mean, we are proud of the animals that we kill, as anybody should be, you know, like you have a moment of respect for the animal and then you're like really proud of it and the experience.
It's your trophy.
Yeah. And we both walked up to it and he's like, do you want a photo? I'm like, not really. And he's like, yeah, me either. And it took us a while to like get a photo. It was very hard to smile in the photo.
Given
Like,
what you just went
Is
through.
the photo on here?
It is. It's probably way back in,
Back, down?
yeah, like in May.
Oh, okay. So that was just a video of it. Yeah. You're getting close. Keep going.
I think you're closer.
Oh, that's it right there, right? Like a photo of it?
Yeah, so keep going. No, it's the video. Right
There
there.
it is, right there. Yep.
So, yeah, that photo was not fun to take. But
That's
even
why I called
skinning
it the pistol bear because I remember
Yeah.
that picture. Yeah.
even skinning it, I was like, screw this.
Thing's a
He's like,
beast,
it's like, do you
man.
care how good I skin this? He's like, no, let's just get off this effing mountain, you know?
Yeah.
So he just wanted to get it done.
Oh, man.
People are like, did you pack out the meat? I'm like, just don't even ask. Like, no. No.
You didn't pull a backstrap? I mean, what's going on here?
Almost died.
That's the last thing I was worried about.
Yeah, right?
Man, that thing's a monster.
It is huge.
Yeah.
And her story starts, we almost died.
Hey,
Because we did.
way to hook them in.
Yeah, you want a bear hunt? Watch this one.
Yeah, it messed me up. It messed me up for a while.
How are you doing with bear karma now?
Oh, I had to go to therapy for it, actually.
Yeah.
Just because your nervous system gets into this fight or flight mode.
Yep.
And when you don't process it properly and you're under that sort of like intense trauma, your body remembers that. And so any little stressor, like something happening with my kids, like would put me into that same situation of how my body was handling it. I'm like, this isn't normal. Like I would normally be able to handle stress, and any sort of stress, like my body goes into that, like I'm freaking gonna die. And so I had to and I still am kind of working through the nervous system part of it because your body just remembers that.
Yeah, you got to build like a new neural pathway.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Yep.
Eat a bunch of mushrooms, I guess.
Well, and that, yeah.
I haven't
there
tried
you
that
go.
yet.
Full reset.
Well,
Full
and that
reset.
sparked a memory, maybe. So from the fall hunt that you guys did,
Yeah.
I think Adam took a really beautiful big ass bear.
Yeah, the one
And
we
that-
fought over.
Yeah, okay. Yes. The bear fight. Where was I going with that? Oh, I think he dropped you off, and then he flew back and then got flown back in with a buddy.
Yeah.
And there was like, if I remember right, and this might have something to do with that, interactions you guys had on your hunt.
Yeah.
About like him telling you to like get it together. Because
Yeah.
you had dropped off, and there was like bears kind of like, you had
Dude,
flown,
there was a
flown
huge
in and-
bear. There was a huge bear 500 yards from me, and he dropped me off, and I was by myself, and I was like, F this. Get
Yeah.
me out of here.
Yeah, because you were still kind of
just
like
had a full
feeling this
freak out.
trauma from
Oh, yeah.
this.
I thought I was
thing.
fine because I had done my solo caribou hunt,
Yep.
in August. September, I went out and I got a moose with my bow. And then October rolls around. I'm like, yeah, like I'll be fine,
Sure, drop me off with camp. I'll get things
Yeah.
set up. Let's get
Like,
going.
I'll do it. And he's like, you sure can? I'm like, yeah, I'm over it. No, I'm not over it. And so he dropped me off, and right when he did his last turn to like do a final pass and land, I look down and there's like a 9 to 10 foot bear right on the stream, 500 yards from where he's dropping me. And I just started full panic, just like that. And I couldn't control it. And he dropped me off, and he's like, all right, I'll be back in an hour and a half. And I'm like, what? What do you mean?
You're going to leave?
You're leaving me?
What about what I
It's
just
like, there's a
said?
bear right there. What am I going to do? He's like, you have a pistol, you have a gun. I'm like, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was very much having like PTSD,
Yeah.
and I've talked to people that have had it, and I didn't want to like admit that I had that, but they're like, you're seriously having PTSD. Like that's what it is.
Yep.
Even if it's not from the military, your body's doing the exact same thing from a traumatic event. It remembers, and it's a really crazy book. It's good, called The Body Keeps Score. And it just talks a lot about that trauma in your body, of any kind of trauma that you have, whether it's from your childhood or in adulthood. Your body remembers things, and it's going to respond accordingly. And so that's what was happening. And a lot of our fights stemmed from my stress and anxiety over that.
Oh, wow.
Just like being near the bears again and like being in that environment. Even though my husband was there and he's my protector, there was just something about that being immersed back in them again and like pursuing them again that I was just not ready for, and I shouldn't have gone. Really, I just wasn't ready for it.
And he was probably challenged with managing his emotions with you, who he loves and wants to protect and care for. Yeah. And then also complete the mission at hand, right?
Oh, yeah. And like, he wanted to do it with his bow, and that was the thing.
Oh, we're like, let's get really close to this one,
that's
too.
That's what we were fighting over. I was like, I'm not. And he's like, yeah, you got to be my backup. And I said, I'm not going to be your backup if you're doing this to the bow. There's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm probably going to watch you get eaten, and I'm not going to be able to handle it. I just said, I'll be your backup, but you need to have a gun in your hand. I just don't trust myself to like pull it together right now. Mm-hmm. And since then, you know, I'm working on that. I'm working on like fast draws and like reacting quickly and practicing, you know, those kinds of things, because I have to be ready for that. I can't just run away from it my whole life because I live in the bush, you know, and I'm not going to quit hunting, and it's going to happen more, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're taking the kids out too and teaching them how to do it. And
yeah, but it was funny on that bear hunt because he is very much like a go, go, go kind of person. And I'm like, let's watch our surroundings for a second, see what's happening. So we had left at first light on the first day of the hunt, and he is just booking it to the stream because, you know, on fall hunts, you just kind of sit on streams because they're salmon fishing. Mm-hmm. And he was booking it to the stream to get close. And I was like, dude, it's like first light. They might be roaming through here. He's like, oh, no, they're all on the stream. I'm like, no, you might see a bear just leaving our tent here. Let's go slow. So he's just booking it, and I stopped, and I'm taking my time, and I'm glassing. And I look up at him, and he'd already, like, left me in the dust, like 100 yards away. And I see a bear coming over the hill right on top of him. And he doesn't see it.
Yeah. Oh.
He's just walking. He's like tunnel vision, walking to the stream because that's where the bears are. And I'm like I'm trying to whistle to get his attention without scaring the bear because it's coming right on top of him. And they're going to meet. It's pretty dark, like it's first light. Yeah. And they're just going to meet face to face if he doesn't see it because he's not looking that way. He's looking over here. Yeah. And so I finally get his attention, and he looks back at me, and I'm like, there's a bear. And he crouches down, and he had a rifle because he agreed to leave the bow that day so he would stop fighting. So he had left the bow at the tent. But this thing came to 40 yards from him. And so it just walks right by him, and it didn't see him either. And he crouched down, he looked back at me, gave me a thumbs up. I pulled the camera out. I was like another 80 yards behind him at this point, so no way I could back him up. Just filming, and it comes like 40 yards, and he shoots it with a rifle like 5 times. Boom, boom, boom. And it's just still like just taking it. They just eat bullets like crazy. Right? Yeah. Like yeah, and they just kind of met like face to face. Yeah. 338 Ultra Mag. Bears are so tough.
They are, man.
It's insane. It took 5 before it went down.
It's crazy.
Man, thankfully it didn't come at us, but if it takes, like, what are you doing? You're not going to back me up. I'm like, you left me in the dust, bro. Like, you got to stay with your hunting partner. You can't leave them.
Yeah, rule number 1.
If you want them to back you up. It's like, I told you they weren't on the stream. So we ended up shooting that one like a couple hundred yards from our tent that morning, you know. It's just so funny how that happens sometimes. But that was a close encounter, and I felt pretty safe far back. I think if I was up near him, I would have lost it.
Yeah, I would have.
So I'm glad I was
hard to deal with
far back. Yeah. And I didn't have to like back him up or handle it. I was just like, I'll just film it, but from back here, you're on your own.
that thing was a monster too, man. Wasn't it?
9.5, yeah.
Is that the one I just had up there?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 9.5.
Yeah.
That 338 holds 5? Or do you have
3.
to reload?
He had to reload.
Okay, yeah.
3 and 1 in the chamber, so 4?
No, 2 and 1.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Did it ever see him?
Is it this one here?
I think it did.
Yeah, that's it. Big fat.
There's a
fish bear.
I think there's a photo of it in the dark that I. Maybe not. I thought I posted a photo of it in the dark, like coming over the hill.
You did, and it's got him as like a silhouette with his rifle.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think that was around the time it got like dropped and got all weird and all that stuff at the time.
Possibly. Or maybe it was in a story or something, but.
Yeah.
That's
pretty badass,
so
though.
that hunt kind of messed me up a little bit, but glad we got that done.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the bow one right there? Right there.
Yeah, so that was the bear I shot with the bow.
19, right?
2019.
Yep.
That I overcame my bear fears on that, and then they came back.
Yeah, tenfold.
Tenfold.
Right? Yeah.
You got a good story on that one? What happened there?
You got the waders on.
Yeah, I mean, my backstory was just the fear of bears, really, that I wanted to do it with a bow. So my husband and I went in there, and it was like a different spot on the peninsula. But you know, we like to go off the beach because it's easy to get dropped with an airplane there, and we don't like to keep our airplane on the beach because it will blow away in those storms. So we usually have somebody drop us. And we just weren't seeing a lot. It was a weird fall because we had a super like weird winter and a weird summer, and the fishing run was just really late. So all of the salmon in this stream were still silver.
Oh, really?
They hadn't spawned out yet. So there were no bears fishing. So it was almost like a spring hunt because they were just transitioning, you know, through the beaches and through the creeks, and none of them were fishing on the actual streams because they couldn't catch the salmon. They weren't spawned out yet. Yeah. This was in October. It was really weird. We just had a super late run. So we didn't see much. We had a couple like closer stalks, and this was like day 4 or 5, I believe. And my husband, he had a machete, and he was like trying to chop an alder or something, and he went right through his shin all the way to the bone on one day we were glassing. And he just went into shock, you know. And that's one thing that, like, if you're a hunter, you're outside a lot, like, it's really good to know wilderness first aid because crap happens, you know. And it's always good to be prepared. And so thankfully we had a little kit, and we even had a suture. And don't recommend to like suture yourself up because it can get infected. But in this case, like, he had the right stuff to do it. So he actually didn't want me to do it. So he, in shock, sewed up his own machete chop on his leg.
What a badass.
He is a tough man.
Rambo.
And I just kind of videoed it like, all right, dude, like, go for it. So he sewed it up and, you know, cleaned it out good and took some antibiotics and stuff. I was like, oh man,
he must have been hurting you.
Hopefully that doesn't get infected while we're out here. And then the next day, we were just sitting up on the hill, and you just glass, you know, dawn till dusk with bears. You just try not to spread a lot of scent. And I got really mad because this Fish and Wildlife law enforcement officer landed on the beach. I didn't even have anything down. Like, they just come, you know, check you for your licenses or whatever, because depending on what land you're on, they want to check it, whether it's the Park Service or Fish and Wildlife. But he, like, tromped through our whole hunting grounds and zigzagged the entire thing, like, touched all the branches. You know, when you bear hunt, you're super scent conscious. And for 4 days, I was, like, taking the same trail, making sure we weren't spreading much scent, even though it's, like, going around the air. But I was really mad because he tromped through the whole thing, and he zigzagged, and he came all the way up there just to check our license. And I was so pissed.
Just for breezing everywhere.
I am hunting. Like, can you come check me after exactly. Can you like come check me after I kill an animal or something? But anyway, we checked our stuff. He left. I thought the hunt was over. Yeah, and right as he took off, this bear starts coming down the beach in the middle of the day, and it was just gonna come up the creek perfectly, where I had a perfect opportunity to like run down and stalk it in the grass. So my husband's like, "You ready to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." So we just ran full speed down there. And I got into position, and this thing was like working its way right at me to where it was on the same side of the creek as me, and it was going to be on top of me. And I had to like scoot back. So I scooted back like 5 yards, so it would walk 5 yards by me. But then right at about 60 yards away, it decided to cross the creek and went to the other side. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I've got some distance between us. But then I had to kind of crawl up closer to the edge because it was now like an 80-yard gap. And again, always freaking windy where we live. I had another 25 to 30 mile per hour crosswind, like gusting. So it's a good thing I practiced my bow in the wind all the time because it was really windy. And right when it got to about 50 yards, I just ranged, pulled back, stuck it with one arrow, and it ran like maybe 200 yards and fell down and died. And my husband is so like, he's just not patient enough with a bow. He likes to bow hunt, but he rarely does it because he's like, oh, I'm just going to grab the rifle and do it. And so even after I shot it with a bow, he's like, here's the rifle, you know, and he was going to be my backup if it were to come across the creek, but thankfully it didn't see us. So when you archery hunt a bear, don't let it see you. Kind of like our snow situation. But you kind of like hit the ground. So I shot and I got down low so it wouldn't see me, because if they see where it came from, they'll come attack you. Yeah. But it didn't. Thankfully it went the other way, and my husband's like, here's the rifle, shoot it again. I'm like, no, this is full archery. Like I can do this. And I never shot it again. It took one arrow. Nice. And it just kind of cartwheeled in there. It rolled around for a little bit and then died. But man, those bears are tough too. And that was 8.5 foot sow. But still, I mean, it was like a really cool experience to like stock up on a brown bear and do that with a bow, and I'll never do it again.
Your first and only bow bear?
Yeah.
Especially after the mountain thing. And then
yeah. It was funny because after that, I was like, oh, that was easy. And I started shooting traditional a little bit, and I do both. I haven't yet gained the confidence to shoot with a hunt with a trad bow. I mean, I wanted to like get really good first before I try to shoot a moose with it or something.
Yeah.
But I had this goal after that hunt. I was like, one day I'm going to get a brown bear with my trad bow. And then after this hunt, I was like, why did I even make that goal? Not doing that. And maybe that needed to happen, so I didn't shoot one with my trad bow and get killed.
So that goal is okay to back out on?
That goal it can be X'd off the list.
Yeah. It was a nice conversation.
It was a good thought at the time. So, yeah, lots of bear stories.
What kind of bow is that?
That's a Bowtech Realm SR6. Yeah, I can't shoot women's bows. They're too flimsy. But I really like that one. Yeah.
Is there a big difference?
You just pull more weight. Oh. Like a lot of the women's don't go super high. I like to shoot at least 60, maybe like 62 if I can.
Okay.
So I like that bow a lot, but it is heavier than like a women's bow, you know?
Yeah. My son just told me he wants to start bow hunting.
Oh, that's cool.
The one who's not in, my oldest is super into outdoors,
into really?
hunting and fishing. The other one is like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do that.
I have one kid like that, yeah.
And I'm okay with it. Like, you can do whatever. But then in Arizona, for some reason, he's like, Papi, I want a bow. I was like, you do?
That's cool.
I was like, okay.
Got to bring him out.
Coming up.
Yeah, bring him out to Kincaid with us.
Yeah. So I'll get him one, and then I got to get me one.
Yeah, and even if he decides he doesn't want to try to take an animal with it, it's still a really kick-ass hobby.
It's an awesome
something fun to do.
hobby,
Yeah.
I always wanted to get a moose with my bow, and that was really cool. It's call them in that close.
Yeah.
Like you were close, you know, and
yeah.
The one I got this year like tried to kill me, but it came running at me to fight me. And
after you shot it?
No, before.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was crashing through the brush, and it just came running full speed. Like I thought it was going to come in nice and slow.
Yeah, no, not always.
He just came running into 17 yards and then started circling like, where is he? And I shot him at 17. But
with that same bow?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Is that the one that went down and then the other one came out of the alders? The video that you have?
Video.
You guys had to chase one off or something?
It might be your husband's video, actually.
So many videos.
Oh, that was him. Yeah, that was on his hunt with his buddy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they shot like a 75-inch moose, and then like a 65, like pretty nice bull came out and was like trying to fight the dead moose on the ground. That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get up, you scrub.
I was going after that bull. I was trying to find him because he was nice, and my husband passed him up. I'm like, you were freaking crazy to pass that thing up. Like, that was a nice bull.
Yeah.
And so that's the one I was looking for, and then we ran into this one, and it didn't look huge to me again. I was just like, I'm getting this thing with my bow, kind of like the caribou thing. And then we ended up scoring him, and he was like,
that thing's huge.
The biggest moose I've ever killed, you know? So it's funny how that works. I was not going for a monster.
Unbelievable animal quality in terms of like size and maturity.
Yeah.
That you have access to as far as like caribou, moose, bear. Like, you still are, guys are out there finding like Jurassic Park critters. And
my husband is a moose.
They're still out there.
Yeah. He's obsessed.
Moose obsessed.
Like
Let's take a quick second here and
give one more shout
out to the sponsors, and then I have a special request for you.
Okay.
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day, because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies. And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Yeah, even talking about it now, it's still like makes me shake a little.
Yeah. Tana, all the guests that come in that are hunters, we ask them to give us their best moose call.
Oh, no. I don't do a moose call.
Dude, Galen's is pretty hard to beat, dude.
No,
Have
Galen's
you ever
is
had
good.
a woman do it?
No. That's why.
that's-
We need you
That's
to.
the problem. Women don't have a deep enough voice.
Let's give
Maybe
us
for
your
a cow
best.
call.
Give us your best cow call. moose.
No pressure, Tana. No pressure.
Well, I can't grunt, so.
I know when Adam listens to this, he's probably just laughing right now because he's not listening yet. But when he does listen, this is the part where he's gonna like lean back and just like.
This is why I take men moose hunting.
Oh, women can call moose. Tana, show us how it's done.
Okay.
If you got to stand up, you can.
Something like that.
Oh, that was really good.
That was good.
That was awesome.
It was good nasally. That's always the best ones.
Yeah, you got to make it like real,
A little
real
bit of-
nasally whitey.
Oscillation
Yeah,
and
get
pitch.
that. Yeah.
That was
Gotta
good.
get the
Oh, well
oscillation
done.
pitch.
Well done. Well done.
Yeah,
And
it
it
was
was
good.
and it was like we put you on the spot. So I'm sure if you're like out there,
No,
you
it'd
just
be the
did
same.
some scraping. Okay. All
I
right,
can
all right.
rake. I can,
Yeah.
It's hard with like a woman's voice, and grunting is like near impossible, I think.
Well, we'll give you a pass, seeing how you can pack out 100-pound quarters. So we'll give you a pass.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it.
Do you guys have some sort of deal with QU, or you just feel that's the best gear?
I think it's the best. I've always used it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't really sponsor anybody that I know of, really. Like, you might get a guide discount or something, but and that's one thing that I've just loved about them from the start is my very first sheep hunt I went on 9 years ago, I drew a Delta tag. Super lucky, like first year that I put in.
Nice.
And my dad
The
almost died of
walk-in?
hypothermia. What?
The walk-in or fly?
Yeah, walk-in.
Yeah.
And my dad almost died of hypothermia, and I also got pretty hypothermic because I didn't have the best gear. And, I mean, that probably happens a lot when people first come to Alaska and they don't know what the heck they're doing, and they're used to doing day hunts in the lower 48 where it doesn't, blow like it does here and get like hurricane type weather. So I just had really, really crappy gear. And after that hunt, I was like, I need to up my game, because it's not worth dying over. You got to have good quality stuff when you're out for a long time. And so I'd heard guys around here talking about KUIU a lot. And then I try to see what the guides are doing. Like, what are the guides wearing? What kind of optics are they using? Because they spend most of their time in the field. And so whatever they have is going to perform well. So, I started getting Kuyu, and I wear the men's stuff, and it's, baggy, but, I mean, it's okay, and it works. Like, it would be nice if they had one that, like, fit women, but, I mean, I've stayed very dry in really bad conditions. I've taken Helly Hansen rain gear and soaked through, and I'll put Kuyu on, and I don't get soaked.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. I'm like, how is my Helly Hansen soaked right now? Like, all the way through in 45 minutes. This is ridiculous. Like, this is actual rain gear, and it's not working. But, there's always that rain that it might penetrate through somehow. But, yeah, it's always performed really well for me. It's super light. I like carrying really light stuff, and I don't know, I just like their gear. It's not just... I mean, I don't know if I look good in it because it's huge, but I forgot. You got to look pretty for the gram, so
it's so much
maybe I
better
should go get some like women's paint kit on or something to look better.
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't shifted their market towards female apparel and hunting gear, but I'm pretty sure it's coming.
I'm sure,
with the growing popularity in hunting every year.
Well, they got kid stuff.
Well, that and just the
women are exploding. Like the women's hunting.
Thank you. Yeah,
empire.
I was
like
to that.
Holy crap! It's one of the fastest growing, groups in the hunting world right now. It's crazy.
Well, and then there's like a lot of people like to buy hunting gear that they don't even really hunt. They just like the gear because it looks cool and stuff. Too.
Exactly.
And it's like there's a market for that. I mean, there's a market for that.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that's like a bad thing. I'm
right.
just saying it's like the shit looks good. It fits good.
Yeah.
If you buy Sitka, Kuyu, some of the other manufacturers, they make nice athletic fitted gear. I mean, I wear Sitka pants like to work. Like because they're rugged. Right? They stretch. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
I haven't really.
They breathe.
Yeah, I haven't gone to the Kuyu to that side yet so much. But
your Sitka wears.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
can't be friends.
I'm
No.
one of those
Listen, I'll tell you this. I had Kuyu before anyone knew what it was.
Yeah, you
when
might have
they
been like
used
the
to
second guy in
still
Alaska.
stitch their logo, and now it's all like stickers.
Yeah.
I have all the stuff still
right.
stitched
I
on.
have some stitch stuff too.
That's how you know if you're the OG.
What did we
The
used to
OG,
call it? We used to call it
the African
Deer Company.
Because people would be like, "What is that? Where'd you get that from?" Before it like blew up.
Yeah.
And just the same, there used to be a TV show or like I want to say it was on TV. It was called Kodiak. I want to say there was like a few episodes, and it was all like bear hunting. And I saw a guide on there who had this camel, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And then my friend who lives in Ninilchik, shout out, she was on the show, Kelsey. She's like, "This is what it is." And then $2,000 later.
Yeah.
I was fully kidded.
Yeah.
The new Velo camo pattern is legit for
Is that the jacket you got now?
Yeah.
That is really, really dope. I like
really
that.
awesome for our kind of tundra and grassy kind of environment. And the other thing for me is, I want gear that performs. Like, I don't really care what it looks like. It needs to perform well. It needs to keep me warm. It needs to keep me dry. But I also want a company that has values that I align with. It really drives me crazy when these companies, sponsor these influencers or, these certain women that have never really hunted in their life, but they like pose with it and they have 1 billion followers. So the company gives them free stuff to like get more followers. Like that stuff drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And Kuyu doesn't do that. And that's another reason why I love their stuff, because they don't stoop down to that level of like, oh, we'll give anybody free stuff because they have a bunch of followers.
To promote it.
They just care about like the quality product, and they know that people will buy it if they like it, and that aligns with at least the values that I like. So they're a pretty cool company. Solid.
I got my eye on that Kafaru coat too that you have.
I have the what is it called? The Lost
Parka. Yeah.
Lost Park Parka
Yeah,
or whatever.
Is that
one.
waterproof?
It's a synthetic.
It's kind of like a synthetic puffy, but it's a little more durable.
DWR like coating, so it's like resistant, but not totally.
Yeah.
But now I got that Kuyu Super Down, or not the Super Down, the burner.
Oh, how is that one?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
What is it?
It's a burner jacket. It's winter. It has almost enough down to fill a sleeping bag, and it's just in the coat, and it's wind resistant and waterproof.
Oh, nice.
And I took that on Kodiak this year, and it was amazing. Oh yeah, I was in like snow, sleet.
Is that the solid jacket you had?
Super warm.
It's a solid color?
Yeah, you can get it in camo, but I bought it in gray because I just use it as my winter coat.
Well, I seen that that deer hunt and goat hunt and I guess deer hunt, go hunt, all of it.
Yeah.
I seen that. I was like, oh man, that must be new.
So warm.
Yeah.
So warm. It's like $800, but ugh.
Yeah,
Well, so
Super
is
warm.
worth every penny. You probably would have loved having it on that barrel hunt, right?
Exactly. And then, this is another really good tip that I'm going to share that I learned this last weekend. I went to a women's like survival retreat in Idaho with a girl named Tara Bell. She owns a company called Idaho Thunderbird, and she puts on these like cool survival camps for women and men, but also does like precision rifle camps. And this one was like a winter one, so we did like split boarding and snowmobiling and avalanche stuff and all that. But one tip that she shared that I am so mad I never just thought of, and maybe everybody knows this, but you could take a Nalgene and boil water and put it in your Nalgene, put it in your sleeping bag, also have your bivy sack, and it acts like a sauna. And I'm like, how did I never ever think of that? Yeah. To put boiling water in a Nalgene and like sleep with it.
Yep.
And we did that. Like we made a little bed with that, and it was so warm.
Yep.
So I'm like, man, that's going to save my life next time.
Kind of aligns with how they used to heat up the rocks and then bury them under them when they would sleep. And actually, we had a Denali mountain climber,
Dana Wright.
Wright.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was the first time he said that's what we would do. We would boil the water, put it in our things, and put it in our
genius. It seems so simple, but I'm like, why did I not know this before? You guys, tell me this stuff.
Now we all know.
Now everybody knows. Take a Nalgene, boil water, sleep with it if you're cold and you need to be on a mountain. I don't always carry a sleeping bag with me though, but I always like at a bare minimum have a little bivy sack, those little survival blankets, but it's like a sack instead of just a flat thing you have to wrap
orange
around.
One?
Yeah.
Little
one.
They don't go back in the thing very well.
No, they don't. And then some kind of tarp, like a Seek Outside or whatever kind of like really small, light packable tarp. And then, you can use sticks or rocks or whatever, stakes. And then you have your trekking poles. And you can make any sort of shelter with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had to bust out that little orange thing yet, but I had a buddy who did on a sheep hunt last year, and it was hilarious trying to watch him stuff it back in. Doesn't go back in that well.
Unfortunately, I've slept under that thing more than once. I somehow always get myself in these situations that are like way too far away from camp for too long, but...
It's so much better than like the space blanket that we used to have. Mm-hmm. I've slept under that. I
like the bivvies a lot.
They suck.
A lot better. So,
we are now going to do something that you do on your page with Adam.
geez.
Ask Adam. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Ask Adam.
Ask Adam anything.
Ask Adam anything.
Those are pretty darn entertaining.
Oh, it's so great. I love them. It's my
I think
favorite.
I've lost a lot of followers, but I've also gained some really hardcore fans because he's so transparent and honest and blunt.
So we're going to do Ask Tana.
Ask Tana.
Okay.
Ask Tana.
It's not going to be as entertaining, but
sure it will.
Could I switch with you? Like you read one, I read one.
Sure.
You read one, I read one.
Sure.
Switch.
Sure.
Wait, you can't look. You can't look. You can't look.
You have questions?
Yes, we have them up on the screen. That's why we put the guest right there and then the screen.
Okay. Do you have shampoo in your pack?
No.
Favorite game meat?
Caribou in velvet.
Oh, nice. Before the rut.
Do not eat in the rut. I mean, don't kill them in the rut. Just don't.
No way.
No, don't.
But if you kill them in August, they're the best meat.
So you've had rutted caribou?
Oh, yeah.
Is that just the nastiest?
It literally is the nastiest.
I mean, I've heard that. I guess you might be able to attest to this. That mule deer in the rut, I guess, is like the worst. But I guess caribou is like toe to toe with like the worst.
I would say it's probably the worst. I don't even know if a dog would eat it in the rut, to be honest.
And I've actually heard that too.
But yeah, it's either the best or the worst meat, especially if you kill like a younger bull in velvet, mid-August. It's
that's money.
So good. But I think it also depends on the herd, depending on what they're eating.
The nutritional value and what their body's
Kind of
soaking up.
liking they eat, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
How healthy it is.
Yeah.
Moose call with hands or device?
Hands. Or like you can't use an electronic, but
No, like a bullhorn or something.
Yeah,
So
device
it's-
after isn't probably the best thing. It would be more like a call,
tool or something.
A tool, yeah.
So we used to have that big thing, but it was heavy, and so we actually take just an empty oil can, and just like cut the end off of it, and then spray paint it.
Were you referring to a bull magnet? Like the actual fiberglass like cone thing?
We've tried that. It's just heavy to pack around.
Yeah.
It's kind of
It just
heavy
doesn't
thing.
go anywhere. It just like flops
It's just
around
like a
everywhere.
big oil can. It's super light, and you just tack it attach it to your pack through the handle, and
Yeah.
or you can use your hands too. But you can also rake with the oil can, so that's nice to have.
Yeah, I do the boat paddle thing,
Like a boat paddle.
Yeah, like a canoe paddle.
So I haven't done that, and I want to start doing that because I've heard really good things. And I had one bull that I tried to call bull in for my brother with his bow, and it held up at like 80, and I couldn't get him any closer. And if I had something to flash, I bet he would have come in.
And that's what's cool about the paddle is you can kind of flash it up there, so it looks like an antler kind of flashing out. Jim Shockey approved.
Jim Shockey.
Yeah, Jim Shockey taught me that one. So.
Exactly. He taught us all that. My husband took out like a short one last year, and it worked amazing. So yeah, we're gonna definitely do that now. But I haven't personally done it yet.
They're definitely key.
So being a stylish dressed hunter, are you
stylish.
Super stylish? Are you camp shoes or Crocs?
I don't own Crocs. Isn't that bad?
Good for you.
What?
My husband wears Crocs 24/7.
Yeah, he's probably got like 3 different pairs for 3 different things. Yeah.
I have like camp slippers, like an extra tough, or I really like the Wiggies booties.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But like they're puffy and they're warm, and I sleep with them, and
And you can just get out and go pee and go back in.
Side question: is that your sleeping bag, Wiggies?
I do have the -20 and the -60,
And those
but
are
I don't carry that. Like if I do a backpacking trek, I don't.
No,
like base camp, I definitely use those because I run cold. So yeah, I love those. And the Wiggies over boots are amazing for crossing creeks. Always have those in my pack.
Favorite sport other than hunting?
Snowboarding.
Oh, good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Nice.
I like this one. Bow or rifle?
Preference bow, but I do both. You know, I will
She's
throw
like,
down the bow and
depends
shoot
on
with
what you're shooting. All right. Moose and caribou. Where's my bow?
I don't know.
Bear.
It's a toss up. I love both.
Ocean or river fishing?
River, I get seasick.
Oh,
Well, what about the Mexico? Didn't you guys? I say you're
We
in
did,
Mexico with
and
some.
surprisingly,
surprisingly,
marlin
it
and
didn't.
shit.
Yeah, we got a bunch of marlin. I took some kind of Mexican drug. It wasn't like a drug, but it was like a Zofran, but
for seasickness.
but a Mexican version, so you don't need a prescription.
Like Dramamine?
It's like I think it's like the nausea medication they give you in the hospital after surgery, like the strong stuff. And this guy, the boat owner, he's like, "Here, take some of this." I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, it works real good. So I took it, and I don't normally just take stuff, but I was desperate, and it worked really well. I didn't get seasick, so I don't know. Maybe ocean fishing should be my new fave with
More
that.
bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't make you feel tired or like groggy or nothing?
No, it was way better than Dramamine or anything I've tried.
Yeah, because that stuff usually makes you feel so tired.
No, I was
Drowsy.
like on it, felt good, didn't get nauseous, and we also picked a pretty calm sea day, but we had some rollers and stuff, and yeah, we caught a lot of marlin. That was so much fun. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's not an easy fish to just like catch multiple of.
Yeah, but I love like king fishing. That's probably my favorite, like in the river fishing.
Oh, it's good.
Fly rod or
I'm not great
Oh man,
at
I think you
fishing.
jumped. I think you already
But
jumped
yeah.
ahead of one of the questions right there, Jack.
No, I like.
It's all right.
Well, I'll do like spawned out kings on a fly rod, but yeah. Other than that, no.
This one might be. I think we already got an answer maybe for this one, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Revolver or semi-auto?
Revolver, 1,000%.
Yes, that's kind of what I figured you'd say.
I've been in the
Seems
arguments
how it
with
saved
people,
your
but
life. I think it's easy to choose, right?
yeah. And there's another guy. I don't know if you know Brett Bone, but his dad was the one that like got his face ripped off.
Oh,
yeah.
At
Uh-huh.
Grizzly,
Yeah.
like, or-
On the Russian, right?
Denali Highway.
yeah, like
that
5
one.
or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And he also saved him with a 454 Casull. So,
Oh, okay.
That's right.
I mean, my take is you need like big, strong punch, and it makes a
knockdown
big
power.
hole.
Yeah.
And
Not
more
gonna jam.
rounds isn't always going to save you. Like, if you're in a true emergency, you probably don't have time to get off 10 to 15 shots. You know,
One
Yeah.
you've
sometimes
got
good
maybe
enough.
Yeah, one or
a
two if
couple
you're
to
lucky,
5.
yeah.
But my brother, after that experience, he bought a 500. He's like, I'm going big.
Big.
biggest I can get. So he got a 500, and one of our buddies out in Dillingham got a 500 after that experience, and he had a close call, and they took down a 9-footer with one shot with a 500.
Oh, wow.
So
That's what my brother has, and it is not fun to shoot.
But you have to, you have to like be pretty comfortable. And I have the Raging Hunter 454, and I actually like it with the longer barrel. Like I can handle that well, and I'm not like.
Is that the 6-inch on that one?
Mine's an 8.
Oh, wow.
My husband's is a
straight,
6.
Straight Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a cannon.
mine is at 8, and actually helps with the recoil.
Oh, right.
But yeah,
definitely.
it's so long on me. But my husband's is the 6, and that's what saved our life. But like literally the next day, my husband bought one for me too, and I don't go anywhere without it.
What's your thoughts on spray?
I would never trust it. Where we're at, it's always windy. I mean, it might be a good backup, and some people prefer it. But honestly, like, I just want to kill the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Better be safe.
And I'm always hunting with the wind in my face. So what do you do when it's pulling 30 and you've got the wind in your face and a bear comes at you? You spray yourself, and then you're out. You have to think about the wind in an emergency situation. Do you have time to get downwind or upwind? No, you don't.
Yeah.
So I don't personally care, but I know a lot of people do, and it's saved people before. So it's better than nothing. Whatever you can carry.
I think, to your point, I think it's just per application.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if you're running a trail behind your house every day and you're like, hey, it's not real windy a lot, and I can spray, you practice and you go out and spray and it goes 10 feet away and you're like, all right, cool. But if you're hunting in the open tundra or the mountaintops where it's blowing, I guess, that spray ain't going to do a whole lot for you.
To me, it's not it's not an or situation.
It's
like,
an and.
yeah, like
So
you might have it also.
In your situation, if
I
you
would've
guys
had-
had bear spray, you'd be
I
a
would've
little
used
bit
it,
more
probably.
comfortable. So carrying both, and it's super light.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, that's a good
doesn't
point,
hurt
Jack.
anything.
Really
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
If you're going to carry, I would definitely have a gun too. If you feel comfortable with a gun. If not, like, anything's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backpacking gear, so tent or teepee?
Tent. I don't know. We're going to try a teepee this year, but
Oh, so
like a
you're
tent.
biased to tent because you haven't tried a teepee.
pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Just going to
We'll
say
see.
it. You're going to
Is
love
it better?
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Yeah, we did
Kafari
TP
sent
for.
us a teepee to try, so I'm like,
Yeah.
we'll try it.
Oh,
Nice.
dude, it's sick.
Nice.
Yeah,
My brother has
they're
that
great.
8-man. It's amazing. Too much
Is
for a
it?
sheep hunt.
But how does it? It does really good in the wind.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, we on our sheep hunts we were using the black diamond one.
Okay.
Amazing.
Like it's not going to blow over and get.
I mean, we've been in
destroyed.
some straight gale force.
And does it have a floor?
No floor.
Nope.
See, that's what I'm like.
I know
Yeah.
it's weird, but you get
But
over
once you
it.
get past that,
Yeah.
you can't go back to the tent because you have so much room in that teepee. You just
Okay.
be like, oh man, we're just gonna stay here
Okay.
today.
Well, and
You
it's
I'll
got
be
that little
open-minded.
seek outside tarp, you put it down.
Yeah, or like
You're already
a
carrying it.
put that
just
on the
get a
ground.
good one of those
Yeah,
thermal rests.
Like just a good quality, like thin tarp, air pad.
Is it
sleep
hard
bag.
though? Like I'm always in the wet tundra. I mean, does it dry out once you're
So
kind of
that,
in it for a little
that
bit?
might be a little
Yeah.
different. I mean, we have never really messed around in like wet lands. This is all alpine,
Right.
4,000 or 5,000 feet and on rocks and
Yeah.
wet stuff, but
Just
not
throw
like,
a footprint down, a waterproof
Yeah.
footprint.
I mean, if you're like setting a teepee
Sure.
up on a sponge, I think I would maybe have a little bit different like outlook on like laying down on like a soaking wet sponge and then your teepee and all your
You have
stuff.
to have a car or something.
Well, no, they sell those little like actual tarps. They're
Yeah.
like 6x4.
It's the bottom of a tent.
Yeah.
You put that there.
Yeah.
Be the same
Yeah.
thing.
Super light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Halibut or salmon?
Halibut.
Yeah.
Sadly, I mean, we have the best salmon ever, but I get sick of it because we have so much of it. I'm so spoiled.
One of,
But how-
two of
halibut's
your
a
8
delicacy.
freezers are full of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because we get to do the subsistence like net. We don't dip net. We just put the whole net out. Just
Yeah.
fill it up, and the kids pick the net, and
Oh, that's a lot of work.
I bet that's fun though.
it's the best way to fish.
Yeah.
Because it's called catching.
That's right.
You don't miss them.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of catching. I just do a lot of fishing. Synthetic or down?
Oh, I have both.
Which one
Down
do you
is
prefer?
good. I would prefer down if I can stay dry because it's warmer. but synthetic is good to have if it's wet. So I do have a down sleeping bag, but I just am hesitant to take it sometimes when it's really wet out. As long as you can keep it dry. I keep all my stuff in dry bags, as most people probably do up here.
Yeah.
But it can still get wet, and then when it gets wet, you're screwed. So
Yeah, and it's like the key is to find the synthetic that's almost as warm as down, right?
yeah. But I love like the Kuiu Super Down. I definitely bring
Yeah.
that as my layers, but I don't wear it on the outside because I don't want to get it wet.
Gotcha.
But I'll use that as a sleeping bag too.
Yep.
Yep.
For skinning blade, solid blade or replaceable?
I usually use replaceable because I hate sharpening stuff.
Is that you go Avalon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Barracuda?
Unless there's something better.
Yeah.
No, nothing yet. That's
But it's kind of hard. Like, where do you buy blades? Because sometimes I buy blades that are super sharp, and then sometimes I buy them and they're super dull. And it just depends on the
hit and miss.
quality that you get. But then we started buying these tiny little scalpel like surgery blades that fit on the Avalon, and we do that for skinning, like wolverines, and we've been using that for beavers and wolverines and stuff.
Yeah,
and
the
they're amazing.
smaller animals to deal with.
Yeah, like they're tiny little Avalon looking blades, you know. I forget what brand it is, but they're freaking sweet and they're super sharp.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I like to replace it out and use the bigger Avalon for fillet blade, for like fish or cutting up a big quarter or processing.
Oh, I never thought about it for filleting.
Yeah,
The long one?
Yeah, the longer one with the
really
little
good.
Oh man, it's so
Oh,
sharp.
that's a good idea.
Almost cuts into the bone if you're not careful, right? Like
You slice your
right
finger
through
off.
it.
real-
Totally
That
slice
too.
your finger off, sure.
Yeah.
like, Adam, stitch me up.
Yeah, like how many times we cut our fingers a year? A lot.
Yeah.
Happens.
You're a health and fitness nut, right? Mm-hmm. Most hated exercise.
Bulgarian split squats.
Whoa, that sounds painful.
It's like
I don't know what that is.
it would be like putting your foot up elevated on a chair or a table and lunging forward with weights and like lunging with your
got it.
foot elevated behind you.
Man, I haven't done that one in a while. That one is a good
Like
one.
it's so good, but it just hurts.
Yeah, like your quad just like burns
Yeah,
like
it's just
fire.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's true. That's
Favorite exercise?
Hiking. In pursuit of animals. I don't just hike to hike, but if I'm pursuing animals, I love to hike.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody hates that.
Or like shed hunting, you know, that's,
Oh,
I mean, it's
yeah.
all hiking. So
That's
hiking,
right. Yeah, and you're hiking around in like some of that tussock.
some, like all.
Yeah, well, I
We
mean,
don't
it's-
have like nice hard ground.
Well,
to
I
really-
call it walking on a waterbed,
yeah.
and that is
basically it.
that's not easy, you know.
Oh, dude, it's
At
so
all.
tough.
Yeah.
Especially when it's swamp. Oh, man. It's just like every step is tough.
On that note, you've probably had to do this. Heaviest pack weight
130 to 135, probably.
on a waterbed.
Waterbed swamp.
Exactly. On a waterbed swamp, exactly.
Yeah.
Solids or camo?
Camo.
Yeah. Oh, that's good, man. Everybody's been saying solids because, like, oh, they're all shifting to solid guy.
Yeah, it's like the new trend, isn't it?
Nice. Curb that trend. All right.
Yeah.
Stick with those camo.
I'll stay old school.
That's right.
I don't know which is more old school. Probably solids.
Actually, they are. Solids
Yeah.
were way before camo.
Plaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, plaid.
Plaid and jeans.
That's right.
Then it was Carhartts. Favorite hunting boots.
I wear Loas right now. But I don't know. They're really good. I've used
Yeah.
Kenetrek. They kind of fell apart on me. So far, Loa's done me well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta try them all on, I think.
Yeah, I'd love
See
to
if
try
it's-
Kenetreks. They seem like really good boots.
I
but
had a pair like 10 years ago and they fell apart. And
They fell
weren't-
apart too?
Yep, and they weren't waterproof. And they said
Yeah.
Gore-Tex out of the box, walk across the creek.
So I'm going to try on my moose hunt this year. Is it called Schnees or
Schnees.
Schnees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're Sympatex. And I don't know if there's any other boots that are Sympatex, but Sympatex is like way more waterproof than Gore-Tex. They
Oh.
can it's pounds per inch that they can take
Yeah.
of water.
Right.
And I think Gore-Tex is like 10,000 and Sympatex is like 25,000. So if you can find anything that's Sympatex, it's way more waterproof than Gore-Tex.
Schnees.
So I'm going to try that this year just to see how waterproof they are.
I think
because
Ranella Meteor promotes those boots.
Schnees.
Out of Idaho or something like that. or
Bozeman.
Montana. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of boys on the slope used to use those.
Yeah, Sympatex is where it's at.
So,
Go ahead, Brandon,
is
sorry.
it you?
Nope,
Is it
go
me?
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I guess it was you. I got jumped ahead there. Got a little excited. Nope. Well, I saw the question and we'd already kind of brushed on it.
Yeah, so I skipped it.
But I was going to ask anyway because we were talking sleeping bags. So you got the two wiggies, then you said you got it down. So like, what do you actually put in a pack for a sheep hunt or like a bivvy or like a tight one nighter or something? Do you have like a specific bag?
Just my down layers.
Oh,
and
snap.
In a bivvy sack. If I'm coming from base camp, if I'm doing like a sheep hunt where I'm taking the tent with me, then I'll do like a super light packable down, like the Kuyu down or something.
Okay.
But yeah, if I'm like leaving camp and I'm like, oh, if I sleep on the mountain, I'm pretty much using my down layers. And
do you actually sleep on the mountain without a bag?
Dude, I've done it like 8 times.
Wow.
Because
I mean, I haven't had to really
I
do
just
that,
go
that
too far.
extreme. Yeah. I just feel like you
I
would
like to
never
leave
get that
camp.
comfortable and you'd be laying on the rocks.
Oh, it's not comfortable. You don't sleep.
Yeah,
it happened on my goat hunt because I didn't make it back. I actually crashed. My nutrition wasn't dialed enough and I didn't eat enough that day and my body just failed. That was like 6 years ago. No, maybe 5, something like that. And yeah, we slept on the mountain in the alders and I just kept a fire going all night, but I didn't sleep. Yeah. It's mainly just like making it through the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's happened a lot. And it's probably myself putting, us in that situation.
When you do bring
I
the tent,
I like to hunt hard.
What is the tent you bring? Not base tent. Actually, yeah, base tent. And
base
then
camp tent, like a moose or a bear hunt. We do like just the Cabela 6-man guide.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Bulletproof bomb shelter.
Yeah, work great in the wind. Small, packable, the Kuyu 2-man. The
Nice.
4-season tent or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
That's
Works great.
That's a little bright orange one, right? Or whatever
ours is gray, but they did have an orange one at one point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll do a teepee now if that's light.
Telling you.
It's way lighter.
Super light.
Way lighter. Takes
And
up
do you
way
just
less
use poles or sticks or what do you do?
we bring the pole that comes with it that collapses.
Okay. It's light.
Carbon fiber.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really
That's
light.
light.
Works really good.
You can also use your trekking poles and make them like with a little kit dip. Put them together.
Yeah, I want to say that Black Diamond, what the hell is that thing called? The model of it? The Megalite?
Yep.
Something like that?
Yeah. Megalite.
I think it's altogether like 2.8 pounds with the pole.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's nothing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then it packs down just the teepee, which you can ball up the stakes in there, is about the size of a football. Mm-hmm. So it's about, like that. And then you got the carbon fiber that breaks down telescopic, or no, not telescopic, I say breaks down like a tent pole. Mm-hmm. And then you can just throw that on the side of your pack, like, on the side pocket or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take up any space and it's super light. Tears easy though. So you gotta be careful with that when you're frustrated in the wind trying to put it up and you throw a rock and it slices your tent 6 inches open and you're like,
and that's,
whoops.
I did hear that they're just a little more fragile.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful.
You
But
tear them.
Yeah.
You sacrifice that with the weight, I guess.
Yeah. And that was operator error. That wasn't like that
was a little
material,
frustration.
Yeah.
The material failed.
We're so hard on stuff.
Yeah, and I was like, I think we had moved the teepee like the third fucking time.
Yeah.
In a windstorm, and finally it was like, dude, let's get this thing let's find a
Gale
spot.
force winds.
Yeah, and then I tossed a rock and I look over and it's like, Daniel looks at me, he's like, was that worth it? I was like, no. Fucking calm down. I'm like, calm down real quick.
Hardest physical thing you've done?
That bear hunt for sure. Mm-hmm. Challenged my body.
Physical and mental.
Yeah, because we couldn't eat. That was the other thing. You're under so much adrenaline, you can't eat. Your body doesn't care.
Yeah.
And so we
You just,
basically
throw
hiked
up
for
or
like
something,
24 hours solid with 100-pound packs plus, in pouring rain. And the thing that made me so mad is it did not stop raining until we got to the tent. Right, we got to the tent the following night. The sun came out, the rain stopped. I'm like, really? Like, you waited till we got back. But yeah, that was physically very demanding.
You needed the extra motivation.
Yeah. Seriously, I was like, I just want to get to the den. Just get me there.
So when you're not suffering pure trauma and, survival mode, what would be your favorite dehydrated meal?
Peak.
Yeah.
Peak. What
Which
flavor?
one though?
Ooh.
So I've got issues with gluten and dairy. So I stick with the Mountain Berry granola a lot, and I add protein powder in it because I like extra protein.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And then sometimes I add chia seeds for fiber because you don't get a lot of that when you're not eating a lot of fresh food. Helps your digestion. Pro tip. And then I really like the chicken coconut curry. That one's really good. And then their venison one they came out with.
Yeah.
It's just like seasonal. They come out with it maybe once a year. And like the venison casserole is so good. It's like deer and rice and veggies and like some kind of creamy sauce.
Right.
Is that one of the Chad Mendes?
I think
I think
it is.
so.
Yeah, it's got the bison and the venison.
Oh, it's
and
so good.
That sweet pork one though.
Oh, is it good? Do you
Like
like
it.
the
Yeah.
tortillas and stuff?
Oh, I could do it tonight.
But I also am getting a freeze dryer. Like I'm getting my own, and I'm gonna do my own meals too.
Oh,
that's
nice.
rad.
Yeah, that's like next level, man.
Oh, it's good.
It's the way to go. Then you can have
Yeah.
exactly what you want.
I know. I'm trying to convince my husband that we should buy. He's like, no, we're building a house. We can't buy a freeze dryer. I'm like, well,
It goes in the house.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's good for food
That's value.
storage,
Yeah.
survival.
When you're backpacking, you use Camelback or a water bottle?
So this is one that's really important because a lot of people get dehydrated, and so I like to always have a big water bladder that's at least 100 ounces, and then also bring a Nalgene because with the Nalgene you can mix in electrolytes in small amounts, or you could do like a carbohydrate type Gatorade or something for quick energy if you're like crashing and don't want to eat anything, or you can use it for the boiling water bottle trick.
Right.
But most of the time, if you have like a water bottle in your pack, you have to like stop and get it out to drink, and people get really dehydrated that way, and that's a really quick way to like lower your performance. And so if you can sip on water the whole time, like that's the best thing. So I usually carry both.
Which electrolytes do you add?
I like Wilderness Athlete a lot. They're one of my favorite supplement companies because they're a great company, good values, but also their ingredients are solid. Like their ingredients from a nutritionist perspective are really quality, and not too many preservatives and stuff like that. So I love their electrolytes, their Hydrate and Recover. They also have an energy one. And then I use this stuff called Carbolin, and you can get it off Amazon or whatever, but it's like an intra workout carb. If anybody that like bodybuilds or works out hard knows to like drink carbs during their workout, you do?
Puffed up.
Yeah. So that's a really good
packs.
thing to add into your water. It's kind of like a Gatorade, but you're basically getting like lots of quick, fast energy carbs by drinking that. And so you don't have to like stop and eat all the time. And if I sip on that the whole time, like I can go forever.
What was it called again?
Carbolin.
Carbolin.
Karbolyn.
Carbolin.
And it's just an intra-workout carb that like bodybuilders use for their workouts, but I use in the middle of hunt or you could use Gatorade or I guess any kind of like sugary powder.
Yeah.
Anything your body could just quickly digest, turn into energy, and like
Keep
help
going.
you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite candy?
I don't really eat a lot of candy.
You don't pack candy bars or anything?
If I do for hunting, no, because my stomach is so sensitive, like it almost makes me sick. But if I do need something quick, I'll go for a Snickers because you've got like the fats and the protein of the nuts, and so it like balances your blood sugar better. If you just eat like straight sugar, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I almost
Snickers
crash.
has a lot of
So I
packs
like
a
it.
lot of yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite mom moment?
Ooh. Adoption day.
Oh, that's an awesome answer.
Like I was gonna say, all these hunts, but like no, adoption day is the best day.
Badass.
Yeah.
That is a cool
They
answer.
took our last name.
Aw,
Oh, nice.
cool.
Now everybody can cry. Go ahead.
No, I did. I was like, oh, that one hit deep right there.
Let's go to another ad read.
Heartstrings tugged. Beautiful answer. Beautiful answer.
Okay. Well, Tana, thank you for coming in and talking with us. And anyone that wants to look into what you guys are doing at TanaSue_fit, at Bristol Bay Fitness as well. Check out the Stuck in the Rut app for sure. And what's one thing you're looking forward to this year?
Oh man, one of my favorite things project that I'm working on is doing some Alaska women's wilderness retreats out in the bush. So everyone's going to fly out to King Salmon, and I'm going to take them in float planes, and we're going to go out to a remote lake, and we're going to do like a 5-day camping thing. I'm going to teach wilderness safety, bear safety, wilderness survival. We're going to do fly fishing. We're going to do a big hike to a waterfall. We're going to like skin some stuff and learn how to put up furs. Like we're going to do some trapping. It's going to be like a full comprehensive like hunting, trapping, survival, safety kind of thing, to teach these women to like be empowered to have confidence and know how to be self-reliant in the woods. Because after my bear experience, I was like, man, like women need to know how to protect themselves. Women need to have the confidence to know like what happens when they end up in the woods and they need to start a fire and they might not have a lighter. Like how can they use some rocks or, you know? And so one of my coaches, actually, her name's Lindsay Persico, and she was on one of the Alone shows, like one of the spin-off of Alone the Beast, and she won this show, and so she's a survivalist, so she's going to be up here like teaching us stuff. So yeah, it's going to be like a full thing. I'm super excited about this. The first year we're doing it, and we're completely sold out for this year, but we're going to be doing it next year as well. So anybody that wants to like come out, fly out in the bush with other women, be empowered to learn this stuff on their own, like come, because it's going to be a trip of a lifetime. And I've been like begging me to come, and I'm like, nope, no men allowed. But they're begging Adam, will you do a retreat for men? I'm like, he's not going to do one.
Deal with a bunch of egos.
So if someone's looking to sign
stoked
up for next year, just go to your Instagram?
Yeah, they can talk to me. I don't launch tickets usually till Black Friday.
Okay.
They have to wait.
There you go. Patience.
Yeah.
Patience.
And then you got to like get on it right when it opens, because they sell it quick. So
Right on.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Tana. Thank you for sharing your stories, and
Yep.
thank you for sharing your experiences and your bear story and all the cool things you're doing in this Alaska lifestyle, you and your husband, and fostering and adopting Alaskan kids.
Yep.
And being an inspiration to all the other women that are listening. We appreciate you, and thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for making it in.
Yep.
You come a long way.
Yeah.
From King Salmon to Idaho, and then through
many miles from home.
Yeah.
It's
So
good to be here.
thanks for taking the time.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Alaska, stay wild.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit acminc.com today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.